with two aces down. Two of those powerful offenses in the game have slugged it out in the Ozarks this weekend with unmatched passion and fight. Today, it's the finale. Winner take all in Game 3 between Arkansas and Tennessee. Perfect day in Northwest Arkansas for college baseball, and the fans are out in droves. Once the gate opened, they sprinted to their spots in the hog pen, and they have set their stakes in the ground for this one. It's number 17 Tennessee, number 8 Arkansas, with plenty on the line to close this thing out, not just this 3-game series. Take a look at the top portion of the SEC standings as we prepare for Hoover. Texas has won the regular season in the SEC. Arkansas is looking at the 2 seed with LSU and Vandy nipping at their heels. The top 4 seeds get double byes in Hoover next week. With that, we welcome you, Tom Hart alongside Chris Burke. It's more than just Hoover for both of these teams. Arkansas is trying to be a top 8 seed, and Tennessee's still playing for a chance to host. We know how valuable that can be in Knoxville.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'd like to play at home. Both these clubs would like to play at home all the way to Omaha, but there's a ton on the line. Here we are at Game 30, and both these teams are still not quite sure what their postseason hosting opportunities will be. Tennessee for sure needs to win today.
Well, we shouldn't be surprised that the offense showed up. These are two of the most powerful teams in all of college baseball, top 5 in home runs, and Tennessee came out swinging the bat on Thursday.
They did. Dalton Bargo got the party started. Homers in 2 of his at-bats. Dean Curley added another, and then this was the big blow. Cannon Peebles with some insurance in the 9th that they needed, and Tennessee flexed their muscles in a Game 1 victory. And then last night, Arkansas returned the favor, facing maybe the most talented pitcher in the country. 3 long ones. Iredale got it started with a rocket to left center. Ryder Helfrick basically with the exact same swing of the bat. That was a couple 2-run homers. Logan Maxwell with the exclamation point. So 2 talented offenses. It's been a really entertaining series to this point, Tom, and both of these teams playing offense at a very high level.
Andrew Fisher is red hot. He's been in the 2-hole now for 8 consecutive games, and he's batting .500 this weekend with a couple of doubles. They'll face a renewed ace in Gage Wood, who missed some time due to injury with a shoulder impingement earlier this season, was out an entire month, and he's got real promise, Berkey.
He does. I mean, he's got a chance to be a top 50 pick for sure. A fastball that really is special, folks. 47% whiff rate, which is even better than Liam Doyle, who leads the country in strikeouts. And you'll see 4 pitches. The curveball is the best from a breaking ball standpoint, and that's the one right there that Tennessee needs to lay off of. So you can kind of throw his numbers out the door. The stuff is way better than it would suggest, than the numbers would suggest.
Gavin Keelan in the leadoff spot for Tennessee, and watches a fastball in the armpits miss at 96. Keelan's homered 3 times, a junior in SEC play, I should say. Junior from Milton, Wisconsin. And he looks at 96 for a strike.
You got to be ready to hit that one. Anytime Wood gets it down around the belt or lower, it's much easier pitch to square up. Surprised Keelan was passive there in a hitter's count.
And now faces a 2-2. And back at it with a fastball and dumps that one into left field. Hogs had to shift on against him. Not sure if anybody would have gotten to that one, but that sets the table for Andrew Fisher, who has played his way into consideration for the SEC Player of the Year. He has reached base safely in every game this season. Junior from the Jersey Shore, 6'1", 210, with 40% coverage with the eye black.
Yeah, Andrew Fisher, he looks the part with the uniform and the drip, and he certainly plays the part on a daily basis.
How do you characterize his swing? What stands out?
What stands out, there's a couple things about his entire offensive package. Number one, incredible swing decisions, meaning he doesn't chase, he leads the league in walks, and he doesn't really swing and miss. I mean, he's walked more than 20 times more than he's struck out. Then when he actually pulls the trigger, it's violent and it's uphill. And I think what's unique about it is that even though it's uphill, it's still really efficient to the strike zone. So he doesn't swing and miss much, but when he runs into it, the ball is almost always elevated. A very modern swing from that standpoint.
Couldn't catch up with a high fastball at 97.
Yeah, this is the one you got to lay off of. You can see just how uphill that move is. And that's the hole with Fisher. You got to be able to get it up there around the letters. The thing about it is he doesn't often chase, and if you miss below the belt, it's going to be serious damage.
1-1. And that one's upstairs at 98. First 21 games, Fisher was hitting .271 with 7 home runs. He has doubled that total in the last 34. And with it, a shuffled batting order. This is his 8th game in the 2-hole. Jeff Hedge got the plate today.
You can tell Fisher didn't like that call. I don't blame him. That one looked like it was up and in.
Homered 3 times last week against Vanderbilt. All 3 of his hits left the yard. And chops this one to the right side. Tough play. It was off of his foot, so it doesn't matter. Busy day in the SEC as we close the regular season. Currently, Georgia trying to finish off a series win against A&M. It's a 7-4 Bulldogs lead in the 8th inning. They sold out Foley Field today, which is certainly impressive. And they sold it out for an early Saturday start.
Love to see that fan base get behind their baseball team. Wes Johnson certainly giving them a lot to cheer about.
Fisher just caught a piece of that one, fooled on the breaking ball.
And again, fooled on the breaking ball, but the ability to get the bat to it, fight it off, stay around. This is why he's moved himself into the first round, because it's big time impact with very low swing and miss.
Foul territory left side for Brent Iredale, and that one will end up in the seats. What are we watching today from a scoreboard perspective outside of this one in terms of Hoover movement?
You know, I think the big game to watch is Auburn-Ole Miss. Ole Miss moved up to 17th in the RPI with that win yesterday. Auburn.
That feels like more postseason hosting opportunity.
Oh, you're talking about Hoover. Yeah, good point.
That's a question that should be answered too. It's
yes.
certainly a reason to watch.
The standings piece of this deal is.
I mean, we got 16 teams. That's more than the American League East. I'm sorry, more than the American League total. Upstairs, full count as he missed with 97. Well, think about that.
Georgia's looks like they're going to win, so they're going to join the 18-win teams, which Vanderbilt and LSU are already there. So it's really now you got Georgia, Vandy, and LSU fighting for 2 of the remaining top 4 seeds.
And the line drives into right field. Headed to third is Keelan as Fisher connects on the fastball.
And we'll get back to the seeding conversation, Tommy, but to me, Andrew Fisher, like if you want a reason why he's a first rounder, show people that at bat. Right? He basically spit on every pitch that wasn't on the zone, fouled a couple off, hung around till he got a mistake, and then hits a rocket into right field. I mean, it's just quality at bat after quality at bat. He's literally reached base now in every single regular season game of the season.
And even the last handful of last year when he was wearing an Ole Miss uniform. Quite a streak. Hunter Ensley rips the first one to the left side. Lloyd lost it on the transfer, and a run comes home for Tennessee. Could have been a spectacular play by the Arkansas shortstop.
Could have been a spectacular double play, Tommy, and Hunter Ensley has hit into a few this series, and this ball's hit hard, but Vahiva gets to it, and he's got a chance to turn this thing if he can make that transfer. Loses the ball. I'm sure that'll go down as a hit, but man, that could have gone from 2 outs and 1 run in to now it's first and second, still nobody out and a run in. Not certain they would have turned it, but maybe it was hit hard enough.
So the line keeps rolling for Tennessee. This is Dalton Bargo, and indeed ruled a hit and a swing and a miss for Bargo. He walked us through his opening night. 2 home runs for the Omaha native, game 1 of the series. And it's now a 6-game hit streak for Bargo.
Well, this is the way you would draw it up if you're in that Tennessee dugout. Tommy, Tennessee has lost 4 straight rubber matches. 4 in a row. Here's they find themselves now playing their 5th series in a row where they've gone to Sunday or game 3, depending on the way the weekend fell, with a chance to win a series, and they've been 0 for their last 4.
Curveball just off the plate.
And that's literally defined the reason why they're sitting here on the bubble to host.
Tony Vitello's team, the reigning national champions, have dropped 5 of their last 6 series. Now, Arkansas wasn't much better in that regard coming in, having dropped 4 of the Hogs' previous 5. Ryder Helfrick goes to have a word with Gage Wood.
Yeah, pretty remarkable that the two rosters that will probably have the most players drafted, certainly the most players drafted in the top 100 picks, have lost 9 of their last 11 series entering this weekend. That math doesn't even sound right.
No, it doesn't, but it's emblematic of the strength of this conference. 9 of the top 10 in the RPI from the SEC. Here's the 2-1. Got him to chase upstairs.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the conference. You look at the RPI. You look at the rankings. I mean, it's definitely another year where Omaha is going to be littered with SEC teams.
2-2. And late on 97, first strikeout for Wood.
Again, the fastball up around the letters. This is where he's going to go. And if you're Tennessee and you're going to get him out of this game early, you got to lay off of that one. Bargo goes fishing, the barrel a little tardy, and Wood gets his first out.
That brings Gene Curley to the plate. First pitch strike for Curley. I'm going to put my analyst hat on. Tennessee want to do the same thing with Wood's fastball as Arkansas was able to do with Doyle's last night?
Exactly the same thing. I mean, the characteristics of Wood and Doyle's fastballs, they're not identical, but similar from an approach standpoint. That's the one you got to be ready to hit. Granted, that's away, but from a height standpoint, that's the one you got to hunt. And when you're behind in the count, you can't be too picky. This one right around the belt and on the outside corner, and Curley doesn't pull the trigger, now in a really tough spot at 0-2.
2 on for him, and off the cap.
First look at the cutter there. So the fastball will be anywhere from 98 to 95, and then there's a cutter that's 88 to 90, and then a big hammer curveball, and it'll even show you a split. You see him gripping it right there. Split mostly to left-handers.
There's the pickoff attempt to second. And guys who throw a split will have that be their first grip as they go into glove, because it can be so difficult to then get into a split grip once it's already in there. So he'll grip it like a split every time. Once it goes in the glove and he decides what he's going to throw, then he'll maneuver.
Great take right there. That's the one he wants you to chase. Gage Wood went 4 1/3 and struck out 9 against Texas earlier this year. He's got the kind of stuff that if you chase, he can punch out double digits in a heartbeat.
But he only lasted 2 innings last time out against LSU. He walked 4, or pardon me, he allowed 4 hits and 4 earned, and he gave up a couple of home runs. He only struck out 2 against the Tigers. There's a breaking ball. He flinched at it, and they say he went. Jeremy Dupree down the first baseline. Back-to-back Ks for Wood.
What do you think here, Tommy? I didn't think so live. Ooh, yeah, I guess that one's, to me, it's defined as if the barrel passes the hip. I always feel like umpires call it when the barrel passes your hands. So if you're able to keep your barrel behind your hands, usually umpires will give you the benefit of the doubt. Where it gets tricky is when that bat is even with your hands, and then umpires are at that point, it feels like they're determining intent. That one was right there on the line.
0-1 to Reese Chapman. Three hits and 8 at-bats through the first 2 games against Arkansas. And there's the curveball again, 0-2.
And he's going to do it. He's going to climb the ladder with the heater. He's going to throw that hook right off of it. Kind of old school Nolan Ryan style.
Yeah.
Like fastball at the letters, a true 12-6 curveball.
If we see the split here, I hope it's a fastball that's fouled off.
Yeah, when he throws the split, which isn't often, it's always been to lefties to this point.
Elevated fastball, you think?
That's what I would go with here.
And results in a strikeout. AK's 3 in a row after the first 3 reached via singles. And Tennessee takes a 1-0 lead in the deciding Game 3.
A little bit of a shaky start, but then Gage Wood just leans on that heater to get the Hogs off the field.
Tennessee managed 3 hits in the top of the first, but only 1 run out of it. And so we head to the home half. Arkansas has been sensational at home this season, 31-4. And opponent's ERA in this ballpark, Chris Burke, is 11.31. That is obscene. Charles Davalon, the leadoff man, is 5 for 10 in the series with 3 driven in. Arkansas top 5 in the country in home runs. And a higher rate of them here at home than on the road. And for Tennessee, Tegan Kuhns gets the ball for this decisive Game 3. Kuhns back in the rotation. He started against Vandy last week, lasted 3 2/3. This is his 9th starting assignment of the year.
It's big time stuff now. This is a freshman that got a chance to be a real rock of this rotation moving forward. Fastball get up to 96, 97 miles an hour. He'll show you 5 pitches. There's a fastball, cutter, slider, curveball, and a changeup. And he's been good, not great, but you will see flashes of the makings of a potential SEC ace throughout this afternoon.
Leading off for the Razorbacks, the left fielder, number 24, Charles Davalon.
Charles Davalon is 5'9", 190, a sophomore from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Played at a baseball academy in Florida before going to the Florida Gulf Coast. And a count 1-1 from Kuhns. What should we look for from Tegan Kuhns in terms of stuff?
Well, you're going to see the fastball click up into the mid-90s, and I think when he's at his best is he's painting the ball to the glove side. So can he, especially to right-handers, can he get the ball away to right-handers and really stick it where it doesn't run back to his arm side? Because he tends to do what you just saw right there, tends to sometimes miss to the arm side where he can't quite land that breaking ball and the fastball to the outside part of the plate to right-handers and really stick it away to lefties. And so, you know, I think when you look at the raw stuff, all the makings are there. And like a typical freshman, just refining what he does and what he does best. He's in the middle of that process.
Well, as both a starter and reliever, he has pitched in 4 consecutive Tennessee losses. 2 starts and 2 out of the pen. To short. Keelan, a little high, 1 down. And that brings Vahiba Aloy to the plate. Arkansas last night smashed the cover off the ball. Aloy ended up with 1 hit. He is just 2 for 10 this weekend. Kuhn starts him off with a breaking ball. And a fastball on 0-1 at 98.
Hey, now. Okay.
Some juice.
You know, when the velo range is 93 to 96 on the report and you pump up there and grab 98 in the first, I'd say you got some juice running through your veins. 90-mile-an-hour cutter, so far so good. I mean, it doesn't take a pitching guru to see what Tennessee loves about this young right-hander. I mean, he's got all the makings.
And Aloy sends this one into the corner. One hops against the fence. And a Hawaiian flying towards second and will go in standing up. One out double for Vahiva Aloy.
And this is where you talk about the command piece, Tommy. So you got a guy in Vahiva Aloy who will chase. You've got him in a 1-2 count. This is a fastball that's supposed to be away, and what happens? It runs back to the arm side, ends up right down the middle, and after getting ahead 0-2, a 1-2 mistake turns out to a rocket double for Vahiva Aloy.
And here's Logan Maxwell. He's having a good series. First pitch curveball. Maxwell 5 for 9 this weekend with a home run. Senior from Lima, Ohio. Lima or Lima? I've never known.
I think it's Lima. Let's go with Lima. Like Jose.
People aren't afraid to tell us when we're wrong, so please feel free to reach out. And this one lifted in the air to left. No wind to speak of. Into no man's land, and nobody can get there.
Did you nice
catch
play.
it with his nachos?
Nice play. Now, is that a Tennessee Hawaiian shirt?
It is.
Okay. Maybe a Loy fan and a Tennessee fan? Maybe a little bit of both? Maybe he went to the Maui Invitational one year.
Could be in a low fall. I haven't workshopped that one clean yet. And curveball just low.
Ooh.
A&M making a game of it late at Georgia. Caden Kent with a 2-out home run to keep the Aggies' hopes alive. That's a 2-run game with the Aggies trailing. They came in with an RPI of 55. No SEC team has made it in as an at-large with an RPI over 50. 3-1.
No, that is an elimination game for the Aggies. I don't see any way around it.
What is the highest RPI from an SEC team that ever got in? Because I feel like you could take that down maybe mid-40s.
It feels like it. I mean, that's a Mark Etheridge question.
3-1. And Coons loses Maxwell.
That looked like an approach that was intentionally careful.
Well, if that's the case, and given Kuyo Aloy's strikeout rate, you don't pitch around one guy unless you want to pitch to the next.
Correct.
They must like this matchup if you're right. And he starts him off with the cutter, 1-0. He's a younger brother, Vahiva Aloy. They're from Wailuku, Hawaii. They both went other spots before they ended up in Northwest Arkansas. Kuyo was at BYU last year.
Well, it just looks right now that, I mean, after a nice start, he makes a mistake on a 1-2 count to Aloy, and now it just looks uncomfortable. Looks like he's nibbling a little bit, like he doesn't trust his stuff.
Well, back-to-back cutters as Frank Anderson comes out. And let me ask you, we're making an estimate of what they did and why they were careful with Maxwell. I would guess then that it would be the high heat and the four-seamers. But they've gone cutter.
They have.
And it makes you think you're pitching to contact.
But he's not throwing it to get contact.
Fair. Dave, thank you. We welcome those of you who watch Georgia finish off Texas A&M 7-5 in front of a sellout crowd at Foley Field in the Classic City. Tom Hart alongside Chris Burke. This is a decisive Game 3 between the Volunteers and Razorbacks. It's been an offensive weekend for both. 29 hits for Tennessee over the 2 games, 28 for Arkansas. Volunteers scratched a run across in the first inning, and the Razorbacks trying to answer against Tegan Coons. Okay, Cuyo-Aloy sends this one deep to right field into the glove of Chapman. Vahiva-Aloy's big brother will tag and move to third. 2 down in the opening frame. A lot on the line for this series in a decisive Game 3. Arkansas's locked up a double bye in Hoover. They're trying to lock up a top 8 seed, which they maybe have already done. But Tennessee's certainly playing for the opportunity to host.
Yeah, and to me, coming into today, it's an RPI at 11. So 16-13 currently in the conference with an RPI at 11. You win and go 17-13. RPI is only going to climb. That's a no doubt host.
Takes a little bit of a load off when you get to Hoover next week. Here's Ryder Helfrick, the Arkansas catcher. And the first pitch breaking ball in for a strike. Sophomore from Discovery Bay, California. Helfrick is 2 for 8 this weekend with 4 strikeouts. Tennessee's offense with 32 hits and 5 home runs this weekend. Arkansas's offense with 29 hits and 3 home runs to this point.
No surprise that both pitchers are struggling to get through the first inning with the way both of these offenses are playing at a very high level.
Hogs jumped on Liam Doyle for 8 runs and 11 hits last night. The nation's strikeout leader still got to double digits, but only lasted 4 2/3.
Well, and to be fair, Tennessee's defense didn't necessarily help him last night.
Malloy, the runner at third. Maxwell is at first, and Tegan Coons delivers low with the fastball. He's reached 98 with that fastball so far today. 2-1 to count to Helfrick. Maxwell doesn't have a stolen base on the year. And a breaking ball. Another check swing, but he held it back. 3-1.
And this is where you talk about the process of a freshman developing. That's a 2-1 breaking ball that looks like a 1-2 breaking ball, like you're trying to get a chase. When in reality, you need to land that thing and, either induce weak contact or get a take and even up the count. Instead, it's your A+ breaking ball, and a veteran hitter puts on the brakes, and now you're in a tough hitters count 3-1.
The Tennessee team that was the last undefeated team in college baseball started 20-0, but the Volunteers in conference play have lost 5 of their last 6 series, and Berkey is specifically the rubber game where they have faltered.
It's been crazy. They've lost 4 straight rubber matches, won their first 2 to start the year, and it has been tough sledding ever since. Excuse me, they started 2-1, and now they've lost 4 in a row. So, their inability to win Game 3 of series is the reason why they're still on the hosting bubble here in Game 30 of conference play.
Payoff pitch, fouled off.
You see that arm side life there, Tommy. That's 95-mile-an-hour fastball. That absolutely tied Ryder Helfrick up, who has no issues getting the barrel out in front, but that ball just exploded towards his handle there as it got to home plate.
Another throw over. Tennessee has been susceptible to the stolen base. Not so much this weekend. They came into the weekend having allowed 101 steals. And the 131 attempts against are 40 more than second place. And with the runner going, ground ball to short, backhanded pickup by Keelan. Long throw is late. Now throw back across the diamond. And Arkansas is aggressive on the bases. Razorbacks have evened the game at 1.
I mean, Ryder Helfrick is one of the most athletic catchers in the country. Gavin Keelan did absolutely everything he could to make this play. A ball hitting a 6-hole, runners moving on it. Keelan goes Derek Jeter jump throw perfectly on the bag. Helfrick beats it by a half a step, and then Maxwell wisely turns the corner. And there's not a lot of catchers in the country that beat that ball out, but Helfrick putting his athleticism on full display.
Hog pen is ready. They were lined up around the corner today. They've seen great baseball in this ballpark. Arkansas 31-4 at home. Similar to Tennessee's start on the season, they raced out to a 32-3 record. They've only lost consecutive games twice this season. And the first time that didn't occur until mid-April in the series at Georgia. And then they lost the first 2 against LSU last weekend. This is Cam Kojal, the sophomore from Omaha, former Vanderbilt Commodore. 3 for 9 with a double this weekend. Did you talk to him about his siring goals? Said he wants to have 20 children after a 10-year or during a 10-year big league career. You didn't get a chance to ask about that, huh?
No, I didn't, and I'm kicking I was so excited to talk to Charles Davalon about Brian Giles and the fact that I think that they're long-lost cousins. That I failed to ask Kojal about his desire to have 20 kids.
Kojal did a little bit of everything in high school. He was a freshman year QB. He said, you know, I didn't always have muscles. Told Bill Mattingly that on the Hog Pod. Pretty well put together now, 5'10", 200. It's on Team USA's 18 and under national team. Little slot receiver and quarterback. Then on the varsity squad later in his high school career. And sends a curveball foul to the right side. In fact, he was behind Gabe Stanger his junior year, who was a starting quarterback before going on to Nebraska. That was at Millard South High School. You'll love this part of it, though, Berkey. He said, I also played defense, middle linebacker and safety, and there was nothing better than blowing somebody up.
Yes, sir. You gotta love the two-way guys. Like, not only dual sport, but then two-way in one sport.
Yeah.
Like, those dudes are cut from a little different cloth.
Strikes me as the kind of guy that does not want to leave the field.
Mm-hmm.
No matter the sport. That is now the 9th pickoff attempt, or if you just want to call it a throw over for Tegan Coombs. Marcus Phillips threw over 21 times the first game of the series on Thursday. Kojal sends it into the seats.
Well, a week ago, Coons threw 2 pickoffs away against Vanderbilt. So this is, you know, so far, every pickoff has been flawless from an accuracy standpoint. But, you know, again, part of the Tennessee run game prevention troubles have been not only are you allowing stealing bases, but even throwing the ball away when you've attempted to pick. Helfrick got caught buckling there a little bit.
Well, in that Vandy game, 3rd game of that series, Vanderbilt won 7-5. The first run came across on a stolen base and a throwing error by Cannon Peebles, the catcher, over at 3rd. There he goes. It started to go. Now the back throw. It's too late. What happened there with Helfrick?
Well, maybe spun out. I don't know if that was an intentional deke, or, you know, sometimes you blow a tire on your way out of the brakes. Yeah, and I don't know. That maybe was an intentional deke there. I don't know.
Maybe he stepped on a pop top.
Could be.
Here's the 2-2. And he goes down swinging at the breaking ball. A lot of traffic for Tegan Coons, allowing a couple of hits and a walk. And Ryder Helfrick able to punch one to the left side, get a run across.
Both these offense off to a hot start. Settle in, folks. We're going to have another fun one.
Well, here's a quick statistical recap of this weekend. The offenses have been smoking hot. Tennessee with 29 hits coming into this one. Arkansas with 28. And we've seen 33 combined runs. Tennessee took game one 10-7. It was an 8-6 Arkansas win last night. First pitch breaking ball from Gage Wood is inside to Levi Clark. Freshman from Marietta, Georgia, has put it together. He's got a 7-game hit streak going and is 3 for 6 with a home run this weekend. Takes 97 for a strike.
Yeah, yesterday he made it interesting late. A little 2-run Oppo Taco that was reviewed and clearly over the wall. As you could tell, he was a little confused by the
Weren't we all?
Original call. But this is a young man that is destined to be a difference maker in this league. And yesterday was only his second conference home run, but he was one of the breakout stars to start the season as he was red hot in February and early March. But like a lot of freshmen, took his lumps early in SEC play, and Vitello's gone back to him here down the stretch and has started to stack quality at bats. And when you see that from a young player, especially with this much pop, eventually the home run power is going to return.
Catcher by trade, DH today, and that offering misses high. Levi's dad, Matt, was a football player at the University of Georgia. He went to Walton High School in Marietta, just outside of Atlanta. Here's the payoff to Clark. And he fouls it off. Linear audience hasn't heard much about Gage Wood. He appeared in a couple of games early this season, left a Michigan game with impingement in his shoulder. They shut him down for a little bit, then slowly worked their way back. He did not pitch at all in the month of March. This is just his 7th start of the season. High fastball velocity. Here's the 3-2 to Clark. And he gets him looking at 96, upper edge of the zone. That is 4 consecutive strikeouts for Gage Wood.
Yeah, pretty good at bat right there by Levi Clark, but a better pitch by Gage Wood. Top of the zone, right on the inside edge, and man, that will lock you up as a right-handed hitter when you're looking out over the plate. That is just a dot from Gage Wood. And as you said, Tommy, 4 in a row. The right-hander is certainly settling in here.
That's the first one looking, and now Cannon Peebles chases the high heat, nothing in one. One set of numbers jumped out at me when I was looking into Wood on this season, and it is a very small sample size, only 16 1/3 innings pitched coming in. But he had allowed 14 hits and 4 of them home runs. Peebles connects. And I didn't go any deeper than that, but my guess is of those 4 home runs, vast majority, if not all of them, probably come on the fastball.
Yeah, I mean, he's throwing 70% heaters.
Yeah.
So similar to Liam Doyle, if you're going to get him, you're going to get him because you get a bloop and a blast or a walk and a multi-run homer. And that's there. It's hard to string together a ton of hits, even though Tennessee already has 4 singles in this ball game. But when you throw that many fastballs up in the zone in a league that has a ton of power hitters, you're going to give up some homers.
Power hitters and power arms. 11 different SEC pitchers have hit triple digits on at least one pitch this season. Manny Marin in the 9-hole rips a line drive to left. And I guess the point I'm making with that comment is velocity is really impressive when it pops on the scoreboard. All of these elite hitters have seen it.
Yes. No, the only way you get swing and miss now, the velocity is helpful, but that's not it. It has the fastball has to have unique traits to it. What do I mean? Low release height, high spin, incredible sink or run. Like if you're just throwing hard, but the fastball has normal traits, you're going to get banged. I mean, these kids, they train for it. They see it every day. There's nothing unique to them about a mid to upper 90s fastball unless the ball has some sort of unique shape to it.
And now back to the top of the order, Gavin Keelan, who reached on a bloop single to start the game.
And no better example of that than Connor Fennell, who has as good a strikeout rate as anybody in the league, the number 3 starter for Vanderbilt. He throws 88. So it's the fact that the fastball has such a unique trait to it, more so than just the raw velocity.
1-1 now to Keelan. Came in from Louisville as a preseason second-team All-America. He was third-team All-ACC shortstop last year. He has upped his average. He has upped his power. Led the Cardinals in hits, doubles, and total bases. He hit for the cycle at Louisville. This is the 7th player in program history to do that. That came in a conference game against Virginia Tech. Keelan from Milton, Wisconsin. You don't usually find a lot of talent in the upper Midwest, and he goes down on 96. That is strikeout number 5 for Gage Wood. Fielders can grab a beverage. All of his outs have come via the K.
And it's that exact same pitch right there again. Above the letters, you're not going to get to it. You got to figure a way to lay off of it, and this is the guy. I mean, if you're a Tennessee fan, this is the dude you want up here with 2 on and 2 out.
Andrew Fisher leads the SEC in home runs with 21, and he yanks the first pitch into the right field corner. Peebles will score. Marin will be held at third. And it's a run-scoring double for Andrew Fisher, who is 2 for 2 to start this game.
Now 7 for 12 in the series. And he just continues to make loud contact, Tommy. A rocket in the right field corner on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
I'm a little surprised Elander didn't send Marin.
I think that the porch is short enough that I could tell Marin was not at third when that ball was caught from the relay. I don't think it would have worth. Usually with 2 outs, you take the risk, but I think that one would have been out by 20 feet.
Here's Hunter Ensley. And a curveball up in the zone for strike 1 to Ensley. Another curveball. This one is short. The Hiva Aloy. And that will close the visiting half of the second, but Tennessee able to push another run across and reclaim the lead. Volunteers lead 2-1.
The Huddle. It's a circle of trust. Here, big plans become big plays. Standing shoulder to shoulder, sharing an unbreakable bond. The Huddle is where confidence is forged. And where the game is won. Financial confidence is built that way too, working together on your region's Greenprint plan. Let's huddle up, because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank.
You know, they say that AI is the future, but Apartments.com has been using apartmental intelligence for many years with Carl here. Describe your perfect apartment, because Carl is listening.
2-bed, 2-bath, AC.
Okay.
A barbecue pit, maybe a microwave on top of the stove. A pool. Did I say a pool?
Oh, somebody's going to park. Think of it. Think of it.
That's it. That's exactly what I wanted.
Apartments.com, a place to find a place. Oh!
Talk about a good weekend. Watch the play of Brent Iredale, Arkansas third baseman. He is 3 for 6 with a home run. Sent that one into the hog pen, and then he almost went into the stands. His defensive effort worth the tip of the cap. He almost went right through the wall on that catch.
Oh, man, there's a lot of things that could have gone wrong there, but everybody was glad he got up, and He earned a bunch of points, and there's our friend.
I don't know. Friends demand that you pick up their bail. Let's not label him that.
Well, he's our TV friend.
Yeah, there you go. Brent Iredale looks at a first pitch strike. Did you question whether or not he would be here? Junior from Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. And loops this one into the seats. Heads up.
I mean, yeah, I guess maybe. I mean, you know, you never know. If maybe he had a busy Saturday afternoon. Something tells me he clears his schedule on home games.
Yeah, I think so. I think he had that cleared and ready to go. There are no rules in the hog pen. Self-police out there.
Okay.
And please pick up your own trash. Or be a good sport and recycle.
That's right.
1-2 to Iredale, in on the thumbs. Caboose gang, bottom of this Arkansas lineup. They really add depth to what this offense is overall. They score 9 runs a game. Homered 107 times. It's top 5 in the country. They're just awfully consistent 1 through 9.
Yeah, and they've been really, really good here in this series. As this one, I don't know how it missed them. That's one you'd like to see him wear a changeup on a 1-2 count. That would have been a friendly HPP. And this is the deal with Coons. Like, he gets ahead, barely misses with a cutter, a couple sloppy changeups, back to the cutter, and now you find yourself in a full count. The fastball has life to it. It's just, can you put guys away? That's the pieces are all there. Can you put it together and eliminate some of these veteran hitters in this Arkansas line? There's not too many caboose gangs like this Arkansas group where you got to fight as hard as you have to at the bottom third.
And Iredale goes down looking at the cutter. Back-to-back strikeouts for Tegan Coons.
A little surprised Iredale didn't pull the trigger here. That's a cutter. You know, maybe it kind of front doored him a little bit. That froze him. You see he puts on the brakes early, and that's a nice pitch there by Tegan Coons, who finally gets rid of Iredale. That has not been an easy task this weekend, having a heck of a series.
Here's Reese Robinette, and looks at a first pitch breaking ball. Sophomore from Kennett, Missouri. And he pops this one up to the left side. Racing in is Bargo, and eventually gets in position. 2 down.
It's called a big league pop-up there, Tom.
Yes.
Robinette almost made it to second base. You hit a ball in the air, and you're almost to second by the time it's caught. That's the definition of just missing it.
Two down for Justin Thomas Jr. His former team Georgia got a win against Texas A&M today. Preceded us on the SEC Network, and that puts him at 18-12 in conference play. Swing and a miss on the curveball, 0-2. And a great run for the bottom third of this order. 5 for 11 Thursday in what was an Arkansas loss. Another good day at the plate for the trio last night.
Well, I think we saw this a lot with Tennessee's team last year. I think one of the reasons so many people are bullish on Arkansas's chances to win the whole thing is because of how much firepower the top of the order has, how many home runs they can produce there in the top half, and then how much length that they have. And Robinette's numbers aren't on par with the rest of the lineup. That's because he just basically found himself playing here down the stretch. But it's a dangerous one, 1 through 9.
Coons gets his third strikeout. A couple of curveballs for Thomas Jr. Couldn't find him. And Coons settles into a rhythm in the second inning as he puts the Hogs down in order. We head to the third. This decisive Game 3 between Tennessee and Arkansas.
I saved so much ordering a Dash Pass by DoorDash, I even got myself some extra chips and guac.
I saved even more with Dash Pass.
Oh.
I got new shades. And when we order with DoorDash, everyone wins.
Dash Pass by DoorDash, your door to more savings.
Ryder presents stories from the supply chain. Muggsy was growing fast.
We needed help.
So Muggsy teamed with Ryder to keep their supply chain moving and their business booming, like buttery, soft-stretch denim.
Ryder was the perfect fit.
Ryder Advanced Warehouse Technology is helping Muggsy beat the pants off the competition. And working with Ryder,
They're super comfy, like our jeans.
you too can be a supply chain champion. Help your business win with supply chain and transportation solutions from Ryder.
Gage Wood, it's been a little bit of a mixed bag to this point. He's given up 5 hits here early in the ballgame, but he's also induced a ton of swing and miss, especially on that top of his own fastball. So as good as advertised from a strikeout standpoint, but Tennessee has had their fair share of success here also with a run in each of the first 2 innings.
Dalton Bargo leads off the inning, and he looks at a curveball for a strike. 0-1 to Bargo, the cleanup hitter for Tennessee. Had 2 home runs the first game. As games go final throughout the SEC today, we have seeds that are locked in. Missouri's locked into the 16 seed. They saved a couple of arms for Hoover. They'd obviously have to win it all to get in at large. So would South Carolina and A&M as 16, 15, and 14 seeds.
Well, the Mississippi State hitters are
Thankful.
They're already off to an 8-1 start.
What would you send? A fruit basket? Like what's a proper thanks?
Ace Reese is going to send some Christmas cards to the Missouri staff. He's putting together quite a weekend.
Lob wedge left center for Bargo. And there's one down with Dean Curley coming up. So here's what it looks like if we start today and Arkansas can lock in the 2 seed with the win here. They would lose a tiebreaker against LSU. So you would have to flip that, but Vandy can also tie them both. And then you look at Ole Miss sitting there as a 6 seed right in front of Auburn as of right now. What a job by the Rebels to play themselves into postseason hosting consideration. And I mentioned this a couple of days ago, and I don't think you really picked up on it, but remember, Southern Miss got the win against Troy the first night. They ended up getting a series win. Golden Eagles have now won 14 in a row. And you start looking outside the SEC for other hosts. That might knock West Virginia out. NC State lost to Stanford last night.
Yeah, I think West Virginia is definitely out. They already lost the series to Kansas, and their resume was already
shaky.
Yeah, just there's almost no high-end wins on it.
All right, so I got an X next to West Virginia.
I would put Coastal in. They clinched their conference last night, and they've been red hot.
2-1, and he missed with 97. What do you got on NC State?
I think that one's pretty shaky. I mean, today would be a must for Stanford, that's for sure.
South Carolina, by the way, has a 1-0 lead on LSU in the third. Anthony Ianson on the bump for the Tigers today. 3-2. Gage Wood already at 57 pitches here in the third inning. And beautiful pitch on the edge to get Curley looking. Strikeout number 6. Well, if he can do this, he'll be effective.
Yeah, that looked like.
Well, that was less on the edge than I thought.
Yeah, Dean Curley. Like I don't know what about that pitch would not have you pulling the trigger. See him just put his head down right away. Go from ahead in the count to take in strike 3 on a pitch that literally in the scouting report, like that's the one you're hunting versus Gage Wood.
Reese Chapman fouls the first one off. Feels like a big one for Alabama today on the road against Florida. The game starts momentarily.
Tommy, NC State's got an RPI of 30 now, and they're not hosting.
All right. I got an X next to NC State now. Chris Burke official.
ACC, SEC teams don't host with RPIs in the 30s. Ain't happening.
Curveball in for a strike. Mountaineers down 7-0 in the ninth. They're about to get swept at home. This should follow through with that. So those were coming in, the 15 and 16 seeds of the latest projections this week. That opens the door for the likes of Southern Miss. Here's the 0-2. It's upstairs.
You know, the last 4 spots in the pecking order are going to be interesting. I think TCU's right in the mix. I think Oregon
they had TCU ahead of Alabama. This one's looped into right field, and that drops in for a base hit. Reese Chapman with a 2-out single. Then the inning for Levi Clark.
Another hitter that's had a nice series that Tennessee was looking to get going. Reese Chapman now 4 for 10 in the series. Definitely a positive development there in the back half of this Tennessee order.
Clark struck out looking his first time up. He's hitting 15 points higher against righties than he is lefties on the season. OPS over 1,100, 9 home runs for the freshman, including one this weekend.
We said it last night. I say it again. Here we are the last day. We said it yesterday with 2 games
we got a new
ago.
audience. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a year where there's less decided this late in the season. I really can't think of a year where people are less convicted about who the #1 overall seed should be. And I think ultimately it will be Texas because they are the conference champion of the best league. But, you know, especially if they lose today, they will kind of limp their way into it. You know, with losers of their last 3 series, that would be a really odd thing. And usually the #1 seed, it's a no-doubter going into the stretch. Like you have 0. It might be between 2 teams that feel like they're above everybody else, but rarely is it we can't figure out who #1 is.
2-2 to Clark, and in chase the curveball, runner goes, and the throw right in on Reese Chapman. Hit him, and he ends up with his 3rd stolen base of the year. Well, you get Texas, LSU, Arkansas, Florida State, the top 4 coming into this weekend.
Florida State's, they're out. I mean, heck, you look at Florida State, not only...
hold on, you say they're out.
They're out as a top 8. To me, they're 15th RPI and just dropped a home series. That's how, and I think they were projected to win it, right? And that's how much can change. So you were projected to beat another top 8 national seed at home, which would put you in the top 8. But
who are they playing this weekend?
They're playing Carolina.
Yeah.
But you lose the first 2 games, and now your RPI is 15. Like, rarely is a major conference team with an RPI of 15 a top 8 seed. That's just not a lot of precedent for that.
(3-2). So you're talking about,
I don't make the seeds, but that
no, but
you know,
but with that them dropping down, you're talking about the top 5 seeds all being out of the SEC. Maybe deeper than that.
No, Carolina's going to be a top 4 seed.
Okay, so you got Carolina going up.
Yes.
Yeah. So would you just flip those 2?
I got Carolina in the top 4. I mean, to me, they have been the rock of that conference this year.
70th pitch of the game from Gage Wood is in the dirt, and it's a 2-out walk to Levi Clark. 2 on with 2 out. This is coming into the weekend and projections over those series, so you would basically swap FSU win Carolina.
Yeah, and maybe FSU slides into the bottom of the top 8, but if they get swept, I don't see how, with a RPI just barely in the top 20, they could stay even in the top 8. That would be my guess. And Carolina's going to win the ACC, so.
Curveball in for a strike to Cannon Peebles, who singled and scored his first time.
The ACC is really tough to figure. I mean, like the SEC, you feel like you're not sure who the top 3 or 4 are, but the top 7 or 8, you feel like any given weekend could beat each other. The ACC, it's like every time a team seems to stick their neck out a little bit, they fall back. NC State was red hot, then they've backed up here a little bit. Clemson was the most consistent early, and they've been pretty shaky lately. Miami went on a crazy run, and then they lost a home series. Like it's just been hard to figure in that league.
Ball on the strike to Peebles. Chapman at second, Clark at first. Well, and obviously, what hurts in the ACC is if you lose a series, you're at risk of dropping significantly in the RPI because you're not surrounded by so many great teams like the SEC has. So it's much more damaging to lose a series, especially if you drop one at home. Carolina and Florida State this weekend notwithstanding. Popped up, out of play to the left.
Yeah, and the craziness of that is if Virginia wins today, they'll be 16-11. Florida State and them lost the series, right?
Yeah.
They'll be 16-11, which that's a slam dunk, right? Of course you're in at 16-11. But their RPI is 58.
Extenuating circumstances. They didn't play that series due to the shooting on campus at Tallahassee. And even if you lose the series, there's an RPI bump for going on the road against a top 10 RPI program, regardless of where they were at the time or where they end up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't think of a time where a team that's 5 games over in the SEC or ACC would be in a bubble this late in the season. I mean, it's just really odd.
Wood really battling, and the 2-2 curveball is swung on a miss by Peebles. He allowed a couple of base runners with 2 down, but now Gage Wood sitting at 7 strikeouts as he approaches his second time through the Tennessee order. 1 run, Volunteer lead.
A history of winning started with the 65 Gators, losing steam, losing sweat. The solution? A drink that hydrates better than water and changed the game forever.
Naturally, we called our stuff Gatorade.
Ryder presents stories from the supply chain. Muggsy was growing fast.
We needed help.
So Muggsy teamed with Ryder to keep their supply chain moving and their business booming, like buttery, soft-stretch denim.
Ryder was the perfect fit.
Ryder Advanced Warehouse Technology is helping Muggsy beat the pants off the competition. And working with Ryder,
They're super comfy, like our jeans.
You too can be a supply chain champion. Help your business win with supply chain and transportation solutions from Ryder.
Well, it's not hard to find Chris Burke favorites, and Charles Davalon has rocketed to the top of that list. But his production, style of play, and throwback comps leads the SEC in hits, 4th in the conference in runs, and he's having a good series.
Yeah, he's been incredible. Transfer from Florida Gulf Coast, you never quite know what you're going to get. And he shows up here on the biggest of stages playing for the Razorbacks. At the top of the an SEC stalwart.
And you pulled him aside around batting practice and watched some film with him. What'd you show him?
I showed him Brian Giles. I had the good fortune of playing against him with Brian Giles, who was one of the best hitters in Major League Baseball for a decade or so, from the late 90s to the middle part of this century. And he had not seen him, not really heard of him. They both wear number 24. They're literally the exact same height. They start and make the same move to get ready to swing the bat, and he got a kick out of it. He's kind of a baseball nerd, so
totally.
He enjoyed it. I think he enjoyed it.
He enjoys that. We know that for a fact. His first hit of the game, and he continues his hit streak. Now at 8 games. Wayne single to start the 3rd. First leadoff man to reach for Arkansas today, and it brings Vahiba Aloy to the plate.
It reminds me of Giles, too, in his ability to discern balls and strikes. 28 walks and only 22 Ks on the season.
Do you think he would have told you if he didn't enjoy it?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said I think he enjoyed it, because...
Was he muttering in French under his breath?
He spoke English, so that part I feel good about.
Lloyd doubled and scored his first time up. And the count 1-0. Tegan Kuhn's first trip through the order allowed 2 hits and a walk. He struck out 3. Snap throw to first. Davalon 7 for 10 on the bases. He was a hockey player growing up in Canada for a good chunk of his life. Finally gave it up once he got into his high school years. Talk with this Arkansas coaching staff at the front end of the series and whether or not they plan to try and take advantage of Tennessee's inefficiencies in defending the run game. And it's not a great fit for Arkansas like it would be Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, Kentucky at times.
Auburn.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just not the same roster.
And with the power, why risk giving up outs? And the key word there is risk. Tennessee did a great job of shoring up their run defense this weekend, and it got a balk. It looked like he had Davalon picked off. Tony Vitello would like an explanation. It was called by the first base umpire, Jeremy Dupree. It was called immediately. Frank Anderson is running hot. Tony's really hot. They know Tony Vitello around this parts, former Arkansas assistant.
What's the call? What?
Well, he motioned to his left leg.
He said his left knee. Said he buckled his left knee. Man, I'm sorry. I don't see that, Tommy. Like I don't even begin to know what the call is here. That's just a rotation of the feet and a snap throw. I can't even imagine making that call.
See if Arkansas can take advantage. Aloy waves at the breaking ball, 2-2.
Andrew Fisher over there talking to him about it too now. You can tell, and he just kind of told Andrew Fisher, like, I'm not going to hear it from you.
Poke to the right side, and through the wickets on Curley, his 14th error. Davalon waltzes home, and Arkansas takes advantage. Nobody in the league has committed as many errors as Dean Curley, and this one costs him.
Think about the turn of events right there, Tommy. That's a pickoff with one out and nobody on. And instead, it's a run and a runner on first with nobody out. And that is as bad of a turn of events as it could possibly be. And Arkansas is now back tied here because of taking advantage of the opportunities that you get.
Runner goes, a throw from Peebles comes in on a short hop, had to reach for the tag, and it's a stolen base for Aloy. His 7th of the year.
They're going to review that, which I don't think so. That looked like the right call to me. Love it from Arkansas right here, by the way. Keep the gas pedal down. A perfect slide. Look how Aloy gets to the outside of the base.
At second base.
I'm looking at the oven mitt, and the yellow hand come off the bag.
He's able to hold it with the other mitt, which is impressive. It looks like he stays up against. This is one of those classic ones where the throw kind of beats him, but the tag is a reach tag there from Keelan. Keelan goes reaching for the tag, and I think that's the right call, Tommy. So the throw beats him there, ball's caught, but look how Keelan goes reaching for the tag instead of snapping the tag. And I think the kind of the dive attempt by Keelan is and a beautiful slide by Aloy is the reason this call is going to stand. I don't think the tag. Yeah, I don't think there's the tag. I think the hand's already there. Like, I don't think the glove is there. Do you, Tommy?
No.
I think there's
you don't
the glove.
think the oven mitt came off?
Afterwards, the runner, East Arkansas, Tennessee is charged with 1 challenge.
It's an Arkansas team that is 31-4 at home. Opponent's ERA in this ballpark is 11.31. That is mind-boggling. 0-1 curveball misses low. Logan Maxwell, 10 home runs in the season. This is what got him to double digits.
Has had a nice year. Only 3 home runs last year at TCU. Come over here and now part of the double-digit club here in this Arkansas lineup.
You said that was the first left-handed home run against Doyle this year?
Here's to the second. I think there had only been one. Ike Irish hit one.
Okay.
Allegedly. It was in the pouring down rain. I'm not sure.
And it may or may not have hit the wall.
That's right. That's right. But it counted as a homer.
1-2 to Maxwell. Drew a walk his first time up. And another curveball.
Tennessee infield defense continues to be a question mark on this team, Tommy. I think they've done a much better job this weekend of holding runners, but the infield defense cost them a couple runs last night, already cost them one here in this one.
Where did the margin for error shrink for Tennessee this year relative to what this team has been? Because they've outplayed their blemishes at times in years past. Maybe they've outslugged it.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think they outslugged it. I mean, last year, they're still hitting a bunch of home runs this year, but last year was literally the second most in the history of the sport. So there's a wide gap between a top 5 home run hitting team in the country and the second best one ever in college baseball. But I will say, to be fair to Dean Curley, Dean Curley was rock solid last year at shortstop for a national championship team. It's just been, you can go into defensive funks. That's a real thing. We don't talk about it as much as we do on the offensive side of things, but you could see right there on that ground ball, he got a little stiff with his feet. There's that uncertainty of reading the hop. Do I go get it? Do I stay back? He's also, to be fair to the kid, he's playing a position he's really never played. Shortstop, third baseman pretty much his whole life. Now he's playing second base where, for the most part, if a ball gets hit like that to you on the left side, you know immediately I'm going to charge it. Second base, you don't have to as much, so sometimes that can cause you to be a little less aggressive, and that hop certainly played him.
3-2 to Maxwell. He's been walked twice in this game. There's action in the Tennessee bullpen. Dylan Loy is the lefty. We saw Austin Breedlove throw last night.
Breedlove was really good. Kept Tennessee with a chance to potentially steal that game late.
One of the 3 Alohogs on the roster. Nolan Sousa is injured, not available, but the 2 Aloy brothers. We've got the Hawaiian theme with the Aloys. We've got the Australian theme with Iredale. If you sell Arkansas baseball tchotchkes, you're making a mint.
Does any fan base do a better job of embracing the personalities of their players?
2-0. No, I don't think so.
No. Not a better job. I mean, look at Norm DeBriyn's guy. I mean, what are we doing here?
The Deacon with the Hawaiian shirt.
I mean, that's fantastic.
30 years of head coach here. Infield will get together and have a chat. Two and 0 the count. Akuyo Aloy. We got the Flamingos, the Lays, we got Baum Walker hat. It is a colorful scene here in Fayetteville. By the way, they also have softball going on, or did on campus just around the corner. And the Arkansas softball team got a walk-off win against Oklahoma State in the NCAA tournament thanks to Courtney Day. Younger Aloy brother leads the SEC in ribbies with 68. One knock against him in conference play. He's got a 32% strikeout rate. We saw a bunch of cutters his first time up before lining out to right field. And now the 2-0. There's another one.
It felt like Andrew Fisher kind of led that meeting at the mound right there. That looked like Andrew Fisher going up there and really challenging the young right-hander to trust his stuff and get the ball in the strike zone.
And he misses. It's a 4-pitch walk to Aloy. Single, balk, error, walk, walk. And the bases are loaded, and that brings out the beer hats. Or just the beer. She's got two of them.
Tony Vitello, this could get spicy here. He's not happy.
And he is working Jeff Head. And he's still upset about the balk. Is a fair assumption as he motioned over to Jeremy Dupree.
Well, that was a little tamer than I thought. It looked like he came out with a couple words for Jeff Head, but that didn't seem confrontational at all. And back to Austin Breedlove.
So it ends the line for Tegan Coons at just 2 innings pitched. This is a day after Tennessee ace Liam Doyle got touched for 11 hits, 8 runs, 6 of them earned, despite 10 strikeouts in last night's loss. Coons exits, Breedlove enters. We'll tell you about the new Tennessee pitcher when we return to Fayetteville in a moment.
The Huddle. It's a circle of trust. Here, big plans become big plays. Standing shoulder to shoulder, sharing an unbreakable bond. The Huddle is where confidence is forged. And where the game is won. Financial confidence is built that way too, working together on your region's Greenprint plan. Let's huddle up, because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank.
The truth about DIY is you never really do it all by yourself.
Because this setup took 2 videos and a quick demo. You can change your color here. And all of this started here, detoured here, and ended
down here.
And this pizza wasn't delivery. This was.
I wonder if they do have it.
We do. So whenever you start a project,
don't worry.
You're not alone.
We can do this together.
So what are you working on?
There's a great lyric that says, I was born in a party in a barn on my way to being hog wild, and I think that probably fits, if not totally realistic, but the beer hats are out. We got hopping kangaroos on sticks, and that guy just has a beer can on his head. Interesting. Save money on the hat.
I mean, that's tremendous balance right there. Like, world class. We got core stability, unless it's just like glued or it's like actually a hat.
I think it's probably affixed to the
It
salad.
looks like it's wobbling, don't you think? He looks like he's stiff-necking it, does he not? Or no?
You might be right.
I think I saw a little slide action there. I don't know.
I apologize for not giving the benefit of the doubt.
We're going to have to check back in.
Here's a junior from Ottawa, Tennessee, Austin Breedlove. 3-0 with a 3.09 ERA, 31 strikeouts in 23 1/3. He followed Doyle last night. And enters with the bases loaded. He misses on a curveball to Helfrick, who did this last night.
Yeah, you got to be careful against Ryder Helfrick now. If he's hunting a fastball, he can do some serious damage, and that's exactly what he did against Liam Doyle. 2-run homer in the seats. Boy, Arkansas fans would love one of those here.
Breedlove entered in the 5th inning with 2 outs, got a caught stealing to end the frame. And he struck out Helfrick looking. Helfrick has an RBI today. 2-0 pitch. Chopped to third, foul territory. They were coming home with it. Peebles bailed on the play because it was a foul ball, and Jeff Head had to scamper out of the way.
Yeah, neither party was interested in finishing that play out. They had both given up on the play, but Manny Marion clearly didn't hear the ball being called foul.
Charles Davalon started this inning with a single. He was picked off at first, but it was called a balk by Jeremy Dupree, and then everything went sideways. 2-1 to Helfrick. And he tattoos it to left. See if it's got carry. Bargo back. He lost it. And he lost it because it's over the fence and into the bullpen. Grand slam, Ryder Helfrick. That ball was straight up. It came off the bat at 46 degrees, and Bargo had no idea where it was. It didn't matter. And Chris Burke, one missed call started all of this.
Well, yes, and Arkansas continues to do what they do, which is make them pay. And they are calling the Hogs and feeling it here at Bob Walker. What a scene. Have a weekend, kid. Ryder Helfrick. See it high and let it fly, young man. A bomb to straightaway left field. This one was hit so high that Dalton Bargo never saw it. And fortunately for him, it finished in the bullpen, and this place went absolutely nuts on a home run that left the bat at 46 degrees, which is about as high as you will ever see one.
2 plate appearances for Ryder Helfrick. He's driven in 5 on a single and a grand slam. And Arkansas has opened up a 6-2 advantage here in this rubber game. And that is also the end of the line for Austin Breedlove. 1 batter faced. Inherited 3 runners. They all scored.
And now to Dylan Lloyd. Dylan Lloyd, one of the most trusted bullpen arms in this on this Tennessee roster, gets the ball pitched in game 1 in this series, and now gets a chance here, I would assume, to give them some length, see if he can settle things down. A big-time breaking ball, fastball 88 to 90, slider, curveball, and a changeup. And he has been rock solid. How about 12 hits in 26 2/3 innings?
Lloyd threw game 1 of this series in relief of Marcus Phillips. But he only faced 1 batter. That lone batter was Kojal. Yeah, it is Saturday. I keep feeling like it's Sunday. Thanks for the flag reminder. You think that kid's having fun?
I think there's a lot of people having fun right now. And it's only the bottom of the third.
Bottom of the third in a series that has been wildly offensive.
Yes. And your boy is feeling it. Your boy.
Yeah, sure. And a first pitch breaking ball to Cam Kojal for a strike. So interesting, you point out with Loy, this probably gives him some length. They didn't use him for length on Thursday night. His face, Kojal got him and left. A little bit different game 3 of a series with the bullpen usage already. And Kojal sends it to center. Hensley. It's the first out of the inning. Mention how one missed call can kind of send a team sideways. How much of that is the impact emotionally or mentally? Not just the changes then when you reconstruct the inning and now you're holding a runner at second as opposed to having the bases empty and all along those lines.
Yeah, I think it all snowballs. I think, you know, every play leads to the next, and the best teams are the ones that are able to minimize damage and get past calls or breaks that you don't think go your way. And the opposite's also true. The opposite is also true, that the best teams figure out a way when they do get a break to capitalize. And you know that the balk call clearly was a call that changed this inning. By the same token, you can make the play on the ground ball and throw a few more strikes and it wouldn't have to unravel into a 4 spot.
Yeah, it took him 25 pitches to get the first out as opposed to what would have been less than 10 pitches into the inning. Brent Iredale struck out looking his first time up. Here's Loy's 1-2. Upstairs. Wind was a major factor yesterday. Almost blew Chris Burke right off the top of the mountain on the golf course, but blowing in from left or left to right today. And there's a walk to Iredale. He becomes the sixth base runner of the inning for Arkansas, and it brings Reese Robinette to the plate.
Just no easy outs, nowhere to go for a breather in this lineup. Iredale has been as effective as any hitter Arkansas has had, maybe outside of Helfrick, who's already got 5 ribbies in this game. But just overall in the series, the way the bottom third of this order has, at the very least, made Tennessee work just to retire them. There's a cumulative effect to that. We're on a record-setting pace here, Tommy.
Yeah.
It's an hour and a half. We are not through 3, and we're an hour and a half deep.
Could you imagine thinking you could make a 6 p.m. flight?
No, that's why I didn't book it.
Robinette waves at that one, 1-1. Some fan just yelled, almost got him. There's so many great baseball parks in the SEC. Tough to find any place better than this. And then when the home team gets a lead, the fans gain this confidence.
Oh, yeah.
The color is outstanding. Finally warmed up. Temperatures in the mid-80s before we're finished today.
It's been warm all around the conference this weekend. The ball has been flying out of the park. And now I think Frank Anderson's just trolling him.
I can't imagine. Here's the 1-2. Robinette, as I mentioned, from Kennett, Missouri, home of Grammy Award winner Sheryl Crow. And all they're doing here is having fun today, thanks to a 5-spot in the third. And Billy out there in left is still peeling the labels from his can of Bud, maybe. Popped up, shallow right, lost by Curley, went all the way around his elbow to get to his ankles that time. 2 down. What happens when you get turned around like that?
Well, the ball can play some tricks on you, and it'll happen because that ball started to his glove side and then faded back towards center field. So, yeah, I thought that was one of those balls that can get really tricky when it has a little cut action to it. But fortunately, Curley was able to settle underneath it and retire him easily.
Justin Thomas Jr. is the 9th batter of the inning for the Razorbacks. Struck out swinging in the second. And 1-0 to Thomas. Thomas went down swinging on a curveball from Tegan Kuhns in the second. Dylan Loy is the 3rd pitcher of the game for Tennessee. Elsewhere, Florida State trying to bounce back against North Carolina in a top 5 showdown at Mike Martin Field. It's a 3-1 Seminole lead. They're in the 7th in Tallahassee. Fouled straight back. We will chat with the head Vol, Tony Vitello, in the next half inning. When we talked to him on air Thursday night, he labeled it a welcome distraction. I hope we can do him the same favor today. What are you going to ask him?
What he had for breakfast.
There you go.
You?
I'm going to lead with the balk just to see.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to get anybody in trouble or fined.
You going to call him the weatherman again?
No, well, we haven't had weather this week. Runner goes, the throw is high. His dad, Coach Vitello, at the ballpark this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Brent Iredale, man, what a pickup he has been for Arkansas. Plays it steady at third base as you can ask. Hits the ball at the ballpark. He's got 56 RBIs in the 7-hole. And oh, by the way, 7 for 7 stealing bags.
Yeah, it's a good pickup.
Yeah.
Loy misses low. First Aussie in Arkansas baseball history. Play with any Australians? They would have had an accent that was different than yours.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I see the wheels turning.
Well, I know I played against a few, and I'm trying to think if I played with any.
This ball is launched, but foul.
There was a left-handed pitcher when I was in the Texas League who played for San Antonio. Travis Blackley was his name. Had 1 million at bats off of him. I know there's somebody I'm missing in the big leagues. Reliever.
Phil Stockman? No?
Reliever for the Braves. A reliever for the Braves.
Yeah, that'd be Phil Stockman. Ball 4. Thomas, it's his second walk from Loy. Arkansas bats around. Charles Davallon gets another opportunity here. Davallon singled to start this inning and seemingly picked off.
That was this inning?
Yeah. Oh, Peter Moylan, is that who you're thinking of?
There you go.
Yeah.
Peter Moylan.
That was too obvious. First, yeah, that was this inning. Charles Davallon reached from Montreal, Quebec. His parents are long-distance runners. Parents met in France at a track meet. Dad French, mom from Toronto area, 101. He was talking about high school baseball in Canada, and he said it's just vastly different than what I've witnessed here in the States. First of all, there aren't that many programs, and secondly, there are no fans at the games. That made it sound more like intramurals.
I know there's some good summer programs up in the Toronto, Montreal area, but
well, that's sure part of it. They can't start playing until so late. And you said, it's really limited how many games you end up playing with the high school team. It was rated the number 6 prospect in the country. 2-1 pitch. They ended up piling into the family truckster and driving from Montreal down to South Florida. He went to TNXL Baseball Academy. It was a 27-hour drive. I would assume they broke it up.
I would assume.
Are you good? What's the longest you can go behind the wheel?
I've done some 15, 16 hours. I once drove straight back from Houston to Louisville. That was not my smartest idea.
Chopper back to the mound, and Loy finally finishes the inning. Arkansas sends 10 to the plate, and it's capitalized by this swing from Ryder Helfrick.
Only the ServiceNow platform connects every corner of your business, putting AI to work for people.
HR?
Yeah.
IT?
Yeah.
R&D?
Yep.
OMG?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
That's the department I work in.
All right, enough of that.
A large touchscreen keeps everyone happy. The Subaru Crosstrek. Dog tested, dog approved.
You cracked the case. And all the while, you were soaking in the bath. Audible. There's more to imagine when you listen.
2 runs on 7 hits and an error for Arkansas. 6 runs on 4 hits and no errors, for Tennessee, and 6-4-0 for Arkansas. And that was a 10 at-bat inning. Tony Vitello is nice enough to put the headset on for us. Tony, we saw that balk call as a bad call from the right side. I don't want to ask you to comment on the call because that would be unfair in this moment. But what impact can a moment like that have on a team on the field in a close game?
That's a choice. So it can go a lot of different ways. You can get a little more determined and
maybe grit your way out of the deal, or it can snowball and turn into something where you compile mistakes. But, you know, the bottom line is he's a really good pitcher. He's throwing the ball good for us. That put him in a bind. And then we tried to sneak in a guy who, you know, Breedlove got the guy out last night, so we give him a chance, but maybe it's asking too much of him to recycle him just to get the Deloy there. But maybe should have gone to another guy. But we're also thinking about who we got to have to finish the game. But right now, the only thing that matters is this inning right here.
Tony, you guys have been now, this is your 5th straight rubber match here, and you've been on a slide where you haven't been able to close out a series. What was the message to the club today to get ready for this one?
Just to play ball. We ain't been on a slide. We just haven't won. So we're playing good teams. It's the SEC. Playing some young guys like this right here, and these guys show up every day and compete and play together. Maybe got some holes that we need to fill, but this ain't the MLB. Can't go sign anybody. So the guys that are out there need to go play a little bit. And these guys have played their hearts out. We've swung the bats as well as they have. They've had some balls go over the fence the last 2 days. We were the team that did it the first day.
I want to change your mindset just for a moment with this next question. You are not only the head coach and a national champion at Tennessee, but also a big Tennessee fan. Do you have a favorite moment, whether that be following the basketball team around or being on the sidelines at Neyland Stadium so far?
There's been a lot. I know the women's softball team is about to make a run right here. I'm glad they won yesterday. Hopefully they're winning or won today. It's hard for one to stick out because, you know, a lot of them are, ones where you feel like your family, whether it's at the arena or the football stadium. So it's an environment you want to be a part of.
Appreciate the time. Thank you.
You bet.
Tony Vitello, head coach at Tennessee. That is strikeout number 8 for Gage Wood, and Gavin Keelan coming to the plate. Game 30 of the SEC season for these programs. What a grind. I mean, you can just feel it even as an observer.
Yeah, we congratulated DVH on game 30. Congratulations. You made it through another one.
I think a 2 to Keelan, who is 1 for 2.
23 seasons. And the last decade, the league has been just on another level.
Battle Cheese, new pitcher for Arkansas, relieving Wood. Part of the plan for Matt Hobbs, the Arkansas pitching coach, to go to Battle Cheese today. Junior from Canfield, Ohio, transferred in from Ohio State, a one-time starter. Didn't miss by much, 2-2.
Yeah, started most of the year for this Arkansas club, but just hasn't been great of late, so they're giving him a new look here out of the bullpen. You know, it's funny how there's different styles of
back-to-back Ks for Battle Cheese.
Different styles of coaching in this league. You know, I asked Tony about maybe what, if anything, was different about today, trying to get over the hump in a rubber match. And I kind of knew the answer, but I gave him a chance to see if maybe that. And I just think their system has been so steady and so highly successful. I just, in Tony's mind, like, what would I say any different than any other day? Like, just, let's go out and win a ball game. Whereas we have other guys in the league that might, you know, like I could see Nick Mingione. Okay, let's see if we can switch it up today. Let's do something. Let's have a mantra today, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat.
Well, that's what makes baseball different, and to view it as a series win or series loss versus just a random collection of 3 games, it can change your outlook if that's how you focus on it.
Well, and he said it right. I mean, it's not a slide of a losing streak, but again, if you view the series as a segment or a unit, then
well, in reality,
it's 4 in a row.
I don't want to downplay it, but the simplicity of a series in a 3-game series really matters. It's most twice a year. Super regional, and then once you get to the final series in Omaha. Other than that, it's a collection of games.
That's right.
You can even get swept one weekend and come back and sweep the next.
Yeah. Now there is some of that adds up to your resume. We do hear the committee sometimes talk about Series 1.
Do you think they should? Do you think that's a fair data point? Here's the 2-2 to Fisher, and it runs inside.
Well, I mean, you know, Arkansas is an interesting case for that because they have 4 sweeps, but they've also lost quite a few series. You know, so which at the end of the day it adds up to 19-10.
That's kind of my point. The cumulative matters more than anything else.
Did I mention that Andrew Fisher's locked in? I mean, the quality of at-bats from this dude, it is totally next level right now. He just continues to define what it looks like to know the strike zone. I mean, he just laid off a nasty 3-2 breaking ball right there. He'll swing and miss early in the count, but it is really rare for him to go fishing late in the count.
We had a long talk with Andrew today about his hips. He was a high school wrestler and how the power he learned to concentrate from his hip movement helps him as a hitter. The power and agility, I should say.
He coached us up on that, didn't he?
He sure did. In the air off the bat of Ensley. Thomas Jr. will retire his counterpart. We'll talk more wrestling with Fisher next time he comes to the plate. 6 stranded through 4 for Tennessee. It's a 4-run Razorback lead. Well, beautiful weekend in Northwest Arkansas, and the Fayetteville Farmers Market was going strong around the square today. Berkey, I got you 3 bunches of kale. You owe me $15.
Okay.
How about a chorizo salad? I got you no flowers.
No orchids?
No, it's an orchid-free zone. 6-2, Arkansas with the lead over Tennessee. They sent 10 to the plate in the 3rd. Great energy on this beautiful spring day in Northwest Arkansas. Vahiva Loy is 1 for 2. He is all over the SEC leaderboard. Home crowd saw that one low, 1-1 to the Arkansas shortstop. Where you got him on Player of the Year?
Well, he's definitely in the mix. I think is he the favorite to win it? Man, he's certainly right there. I think Ace Reese and Ike Irish have made an awfully strong case for themselves down the stretch. I think one of the interesting talking points in that conversation, Tommy, is how much do you value the defense?
Okay.
And for somebody that's played shortstop at as high a level as anybody in the league, arguably, you know, besides catcher, the most demanding position to play, I think that weighs into the conversation. Irish plays right field, Reese plays third base, and by most accounts, probably not at the top half of the league from a defensive standpoint at third base.
Well, his first name, Vahiva, means prized in Hawaiian, and he certainly was a prize recruit and a producer. Here's some of the other contestants.
Yeah, I think, you know, and we talked about Fisher, leads the league in so many categories.
Home runs and OPS. And Aloy sends this one to right center. Ensley at the wall. Can't reach it. Second home run of the day for the Hogs. '18th home run of the season for the Arkansas shortstop.
Well, just when I was about to say it's been a little bit of a cool finish, how about a big fly just to the right of center field? Hunter Ensley thought about it but couldn't quite reach that one, and Vahiva Loy now with a double and a homer in this one.
Yeah, he was 2 for 12 against LSU last weekend. Came into today 2 for 10. He has reached base 3 times, once albeit on an error, but hard hit balls, a double in the first and a home run here in the 4th.
I just think so much of the Player of the Year conversation, Tommy, it goes down to, you know, those that vote. What do they value the most, right? Because I think if you look at the 4 candidates we put up on the screen, you could make a real case for all 4 of them.
Baseball is a little bit different than other sports in this regard. But I still think it's important. It shouldn't be an overriding factor, but a data point. Did your team win? Were you part of a winning program? And a roller smothered by Curley has no play. Logan Maxwell, 2 walks and a single now.
Yeah, and you know, in Ace Reese's defense, where would they be without you?
Yeah, that's another way to look at it. What is your value to the team?
Yeah, because it is a team that, as he's become arguably the most dominant force in the league, right there with Ike Irish, in conference games, they've made their run to get into the NCAA tournament.
Loy followed Breedlove, and now he'll be done with Cuyo Aloy coming up. And Tony Vitello wanting his reliever to hustle his way in. And so Tennessee back to the bullpen. Volunteers will hand it off to Braden Krenzel. Krenzel, the 3rd reliever of the game, as the Volunteers try to stay within striking distance. 7-2, Arkansas with the lead. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Finale of this 3-game series, and it's off to Hoover. For both programs, Arkansas in position to finish 2nd in the SEC if they can hold on to this lead. 109 home runs on the year.
So they tied the program though. One more to set the all-time number.
Here's Kahil Aloy facing Braden Krenzel, freshman from Dublin, Ohio.
Pretty famous last name in Ohio.
Yeah.
Dad Craig won a national championship with the Buckeyes.
That'll get you free Tostitos for life, wouldn't it?
It should.
Wasn't that the Fiesta Bowl?
I believe that's right. Beat Miami, right?
Sure. 16th appearance, 2-0 with a 3.81 ERA.
Sinker slider dude has pitched some really meaningful innings, especially early in the year. Tennessee was taking care of business on Sundays early in the year. He and Coons kind of had a tag team deal going. Coons would start it and Krenzel would finish it. And then he battled some illness and missed a couple weeks, working his way back to full strength now. But a non-traditional power righty in today's world. More of the sinker slider version. We see so many guys with 4-seamers now, but he likes to turn that thing over and do some ground balls.
Could use it here. Tennessee got a big double play in the game last night. The Volunteers 29 double plays on the year. That's 10 fewer than their opponents. Aloy walked and scored a run, part of the 5-run 3rd inning for the Razorbacks.
Way back in the 3rd.
Way back there. Well, the good news is I might get to take it to Herman's Rib House tonight.
All right.
Mm, 95.
That's what it looks like when a hitter's guessing right there. You see Kahil just walks off. No argument to Jeff Head, just head down back to the dugout. He got caught sitting on a breaking ball, and Craig Krenzel just dotted a 2-seamer on the outside corner. A really pretty pitch.
If this were golf, how would you describe it?
Handsome. Just a handsome fastball on the outside corner.
Been a day for Ryder Helfrick. Grand slam last time up. And a home run that had serious hang time. And by the way, it's not like that thing was wind aided either.
No, whatever breeze we have is kind of in. Just a, what would you call that? Maybe a 5-mile-an-hour breeze.
Half a club?
Yeah, there you go.
Not like playing golf on a mountaintop. What'd you think of Fayetteville Country Club? Did you like it?
I'm a big fan, Tom.
Did you go back today?
No, I didn't.
You wanted to.
I did. 2 o'clock game got me.
1-1 to Helfrick. Fooled.
Right on right. Changeup right there. Sinker, slider, changeup. Krenzel turning that thing over. Just don't see a ton of those. See, Helfrick swung right through that one as if he thought it was a fastball.
Helfrick hit a home run last year against Auburn after Dave Van Horn had been ejected from a game. DVH was watching on TV. Said it looked like a 500-foot home run. Goes down swinging there. Back-to-back Ks for Krenzel and 2 down.
Speaking of DVH, we will chat with the Arkansas skipper on the other side. He's got to be pretty pleased with the way this game is started here, almost halfway through.
Here's Cam Kojal. Kojal is a big outdoorsman from Nebraska. Ooh. Spends a lot of time wetting his line in Lake Norm, which is the collection pond just beyond center field. And he was talking about the size of the fish in that pond. And he said, you know, we've got all the fertilizer that ends up back there in the nitrogen. You might not think about that from a fish perspective, but it's good for bug life. All right, so the bugs are going to get bigger and thicker, more handsome, more attracted to the fish.
Okay.
Little fish get eaten by the big fish, and next thing you know, got a 6-pound bass out there.
All right.
2-0. But they almost got arrested. He was out there fishing earlier, and his dad has a drone, and they were flying the drone to get a better look at the pond itself and see where the structures were and what the deepest part was. And as soon as the drone got in the air, they were surrounded by cops. Apparently that's a no-no on campus. You can't just fly your own drone.
Okay. You're coaching me up right now. And when you're flying drones in a pond that size to try to find the sweetest honey hole, like you're officially all in.
Yeah, you are.
You know what I mean? Feels like we could just like walk along.
I know it's not like you're scouting Table Rock Lake and trying to find every nook and eddy. No, it's you can hold hands across that.
It's a pond. I caught a fish once, Tom.
Once?
Yep.
Bluegill?
No idea.
No idea. We don't even know what the fish was.
I'm actually not certain the fish was alive, but it ended up on my hook.
You think a dead fish just happened to float into the hook?
I mean, for me to catch it, either that or it was ready to end its days.
Maybe it was a big Chris Burke fan. Hey, you know what? I'll do anything possible to meet Chris Burke. Let me nibble on this hook. Full count to Kojal. He's 0 for 2. And he looks at ball 4. So here's Brent Iredale. A frustrating afternoon in the Tennessee dugout for sure. Iredale spent a couple of years at New Mexico Junior College. He was the first back-to-back MVP in conference history. In 58 games, he drove in 78, homered 25 times with a .441 average.
And you just never know how those numbers are going to translate to the Southeastern Conference. Obviously, New Mexico, one of the friendliest places to hit on earth. The ball just flies there. And so
did you play in Albuquerque, some AAA games?
I did, and I would like to go back. I wish every park carried like Albuquerque.
Lifted into right field and handled by Reese Chapman.
Come on, Bahiba, give the people what they want. Maybe the SEC Player of the Year, adding one more highlight to his reel, a bomb to center, and it is all hogs right now, folks.
Fifth inning, Arkansas leads 7-2. Tom Hart and Chris Burke happy to be joined now by Dave Van Horn down in the Arkansas dugout. You've made it to game 30, Coach. How's it feel?
Feels pretty good. So, what a great crowd, unbelievable weather. The ballpark's amazing. It's been a great weekend. Win or lose today, it's been a good 30 games.
Dave, what have you learned about your team through the journey?
I don't feel like we're ever out of the game. We've come back and won some games, and they fight you now, and they can swing the bat a little bit, obviously.
I'm going to ask you in advance because we're getting ready to head to Hoover next week. Given what you guys have accomplished to this point, and this game is far from over, but does the goal change next week in Hoover relative to what the tournament format had been in the past?
Well, we're very fortunate that we get a double bye, so we don't play till either Thursday or Friday, and so it would be like more of a regular 3-game weekend if we can win the games. We pitch who we need to pitch and get ready for the next weekend. So I don't know if I've avoided your question, but
well, it's certainly easier, right? You're only worrying about 3.
Yeah, I think it's easier if you get a bye or 2 byes. It's a lot easier, because if you're playing the first day, you got to win like 5 games, and that'd be awful difficult. It's usually hot and very humid in Hoover.
Well, Coach, we were just having SEC Player of the Year conversation. Make the case for your shortstop.
Okay, now I can. That was my third baseman who made that play. People say coaches fall in love with their own players. But if he was on any team and he's doing what he's doing this year for us, he plays a primo position, shortstop, and he's really good at it. Fielding percentage, everything he's done for us, the great plays, routine plays, and then, he got like 18 home runs and close to 20 doubles and 60 RBIs. He could steal a bag, as you saw. There's some really good players in the league, and maybe I'm being biased, but I hope he gets it. I think he's an MVP of the league.
Well, if you earn that in this league, you have certainly earned it. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Okay, see you guys.
Dean Curley with a 1-out single. It was Charlie Condon last year. Dylan Cruz earned it twice. He's shared it with Sonny DeShera in 22. Just watching J.J. Bleday in the big leagues the other day. He won it 19. Andrew Benintendi is the last Razorback to have won it. That was in 2015.
What a year he had. How about that 2015 class? He beat out Dansby Swanson and Alex Bregman.
How about that? And not bad for a guy who just kind of jumped on the radar that year.
That's right. Yeah, first year was very much a struggle, and then stayed here over the summer, got bigger, stronger, and made some adjustments. And next thing you know, he's Player of the Year and top 10 draft pick.
Finished second in 2001.
Who finished second?
Yeah.
That's a great question. Jeff Keppinger, maybe? I don't know if they do they print the runner-ups? Do they tell you the runner-ups?
Not sure, but since you won it, you might have known who your greatest competition was. Curveball hit up the middle. Here's Aloy. Great range. Off balance. Got him.
Well, that's how you make your skipper look good, Bahiba.
He ran from Springdale to Bentonville.
He said the routine play and the highlight play. I love how he keeps his chest towards the infield there. A lot of guys will go 360, and that'll take you another 2 strides. But he's able to keep his chest square to the infield and enough arm strength, even though his momentum is going completely opposite direction to finish that play off. Yeah, this is a trendy turn in quarterback evaluation, throw off platform.
Yeah. Thanks for watching our games on
That's
Saturday
right.
night.
And you know, I'm a wannabe quarterback evaluator. The best infielders in the world have to be able to throw off platform, and that's why often the best quarterbacks played a lot of youth baseball.
Patrick Mahomes is the #1 example of that.
That's exactly right. And you really can't play the position without people around your feet. And of course, there are rollout plays and play action and bootlegs and all those kinds of things. And you see a throw like that, and then you can, especially people in this part of the country, can close their eyes and picture Patrick Mahomes making throws just like it.
Well, to me, it's less about the arm and more about the hips and maybe even the shoulders, but it starts from the ground up.
The point is, can you be in an awkward position where your foot is not at your target and your lead shoulder is not pointed that direction and still have the skill to throw it accurately? That's the hard part. And then in baseball and football, here you go again, right? He's moving to his left. Everything about his body is going towards the right field wall, yet he has to throw it away from his momentum and keep the ball straight enough to allow Robinette to finish it off. And those are plays that separate infielders when you can finish those.
A walk to Levi Clark extends the Tennessee 5th. It's a Tennessee team, one of the top home run hitting teams in the country. They're a blast away from making this thing interesting.
And it wouldn't be a shocker if it was this part of the lineup. This part of the lineup, we talked about the bottom third of the Arkansas lineup a lot this weekend, but the bottom third of Tennessee's done a bunch of damage too. Peebles 3 for 9, Levi Clark 3 for 6, bunch of walks. Peebles has had a few run-scoring hits.
And you have to have production from the entire lineup to put up a big inning. And 4 times this weekend, Tennessee has scored 3 runs in a single frame.
Yeah, and Manny Marin down there at the bottom has got 4 hits on the weekend.
0-1 to Peebles. Caught the edge for a strike, 0-2. To a board, and Peebles with a check swing. They say it didn't go, and he stays alive.
Did he put on the brakes? Yes, sir. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You keep the barrel behind your hands, and you will almost always get the call from the umpire.
Ripped down the left field line. That is foul by a foot.
Beidelshees wants to throw that slider. That's his best pitch. And the pitch before where he wrapped it around the strike zone and got it to the back foot of Peebles is the place he was trying to land that one, and he hung it, and boy, Peebles almost dropped it down the left field line for a couple ribbies. Feels like a big AB if Tennessee's going to get back in this game, doesn't it?
No doubt. One, two, and Peebles waves at it for strike 3. Missed opportunity for Tennessee. They have left 8 base runners stranded through 5 innings and trail by 5. We close out the regular season today. Let's look at Berkey's candidates for SEC Pitcher of the Year honors.
Well, I think similar to Player of the Year, it's a complicated conversation that there's a lot of deserving candidates. Cade Anderson has been fantastic, as has Liam Doyle. Maybe Doyle the most spectacular. Kyson Witherspoon. Those first 3 are going to be top 10, top 15 picks. Dylan Volantis is an interesting one. 12 saves, 11 in the conference. And he's also added up a few wins for the SEC champ. So, again, most spectacular biggest prospect, most valuable? Like, what do you value
Let me
the
apply
most?
this question to something you brought up earlier.
Yep.
Does Texas win the league without Dylan Belantis?
No.
Reese Robinette looks at a first pitch low, 1-0.
There's no way. I mean, the amount of one-run games that they've won.
I don't know, and I say this respectfully, I don't know that we've ever had a regular season champion without a bona fide ace.
Well,
they had one, he was injured.
That's right. Yeah, Jared Spencer was pitching like an ace, and he probably would have been on that list had he made his last, 4 starts that he's missed, But, no, you're right. The way they've been able to hold up in his absence is in large part due to the bullpen. Now, Max Grubbs has a lot to do with that, too, so you got to give him his due because he's been fantastic. But, I think I would say Doyle probably, the strikeouts, the dominance, and then how many game ones he's allowed Tennessee to win. It feels like he's kind of the front runner, but man, I could make a case for all of them.
Last volunteer to win SEC Pitcher of the Year was Chase Dollander in 22. Meanwhile, Arkansas has won 2 of the last 4. Kevin Kopps in 21, Hagen Smith last year. You talk to other coaching staffs about Liam Doyle, what makes him stand out is the ability to hold velocity late in the game. That's much improved from last year, but it's the overall mindset as a competitor and the way he carries himself on the mound, which is reminiscent of other great emotional aces. I mean, like Brady Singer had an attitude that outsized his body size. Thomas Jr. trying to bunt his way on.
And this, I think, would sound weird to most, but I told him before the game, I actually was very impressed because the reality of pitching in the big leagues, when you pitch every 5th day against the best players in the world, first of all, your body's not going to have it every day. That's impossible. And Andy Pettitte used to say, Pettitte had 5 pitches. He's like, I'm lucky if I had 2 in any one start feeling great. Now, about 5, if you make 35 starts, 5 times a year, I'm going to be locked in. 5 times a year, I'm probably going to stink, and I got to figure out a way to survive and maybe get 2 times through the order. And then really the other 25 is where your season is defined. And a big part of that is your ability to get outs on your days where you're not at your best. And so yesterday his fastball was getting banged. It was clear he wasn't as comfortable as he normally was with his fastball dominance. And I thought the second time and third time through the order as he mixed in his slider and split finger showed his ability to pitch and not just dominate by having the most explosive fastball in the league. He's shown that, right? Like it's some of the other layers that sometimes you're not going to see unless the fastball isn't as good on a given start.
Would he be better off, and maybe this is recency bias watching last night, would he be better off if he were to lean less on the fastball early in the game?
Well, I mean, that would be questioning the game plan that they've used at a really high level for most of the year. Now the question could be maybe against this team.
Well, no doubt.
Maybe against Georgia. There are some clubs that maybe you would be more careful with just leaning too heavily on the fastball against. But you can't blame them for going into the game with a game plan that's worked at the highest level all year long.
Tipped it into the catcher's mitt for strike 3. 1 down.
Krenzel's been pretty good now. Fastball up to 95 miles an hour. I mean, again, you see Coons and you see Krenzel, and you see the makings of a couple weekend starters down the road for Tennessee.
Here's Arkansas's Charles Davalon. He's 1 for 3 today.
I'd say one of the stories for this Tennessee roster that maybe isn't talked about as much is how many freshmen have filled significant roles for this team this year. I mean, they've played as many freshmen. Their roster age is the second youngest in the league besides Florida. To be able to still be in a position to host, to win 40 games, to do what they've been able to do while also giving so many young players opportunities to grow up is, I think, bodes well for their roster next year.
It's tough to balance when you're still chasing the ultimate goal.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and I think that's the thing all these skippers try to figure out, right? How do we play to win the whole thing today, but not also be in the portal to find a whole new team next year?
One on and one out for Davalon. There's a shootout in Oxford right now. Auburn and Ole Miss putting up big numbers. Auburn with a 9-8 lead in the 7th. The Tigers had a 5-run 6th to jump in front.
The ball is flying out of the ballpark this weekend.
Vandy leads Kentucky 5-3. After Kentucky led 3-0, 5 unanswered for the Commodores in the 6th and the 7th. They have not just back-to-back walk-off wins against Kentucky, but 3 straight home walk-off wins on walk-off home runs.
Ike Irish with another home run today for the Tigers.
Shocker.
Now, Tim Corbin's been coaching a very long time. I can't wait to see him in Hoover and ask him about 3 straight walk-off homers. And all of those games looked bad. Like, you're losing. It's one thing, it's tied in extra innings, you hit a home run. Like, they're down to their last strike in all those games. That Bama game you and I called, they were down 7-2 in the 8th with 2 outs and nobody on.
They get 2 home runs in the 8th, and you think, okay, well, this makes it interesting.
And then they were down to their last strike in the 9th and walked them off. And Holcomb has hit 2 of the 3.
That's right. There's Jonathan Vastine last night. Here's the 3-2 to Davalon, runner on the move, and it's upstairs for ball 4.
Which I don't know if you saw. Vastine hit 2 homers in that game, and I don't know if you actually saw the live clips, but those were both backside home runs that, you know, Vastine's not the biggest dude in the league, but those were some of the home runs that we've seen the last couple seasons that it feels like haven't been as popular this year, where the ball's carrying out to the backside of the field. But this weekend, it's
you say popular, I think you meant prevalent.
Yeah, popular, prevalent. A lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah, there you go. But the point is, the ball's just not flying this year for whatever reason, like it did last year.
No, and we still got.
So the opposite field home runs that you're talking about, that's where you've seen the biggest drop off.
Definitely, there haven't been as many balls that have left the bat that you thought that's not a homer that ended up being one. And the numbers show it. It's about 7% down this year. But there's, you know, I think the game's in a great place. I mean, both these teams still have more than 100. Arkansas set their program record. So it's not like the ball's not getting out of the park.
Behiva Aloy went opposite field, 392 feet his last time up. Caught just a piece of that one.
Yeah, we're going to end up with, I don't know, 10, 12 dudes just from the SEC alone hit 20 homers. And Behiva Aloy is probably going to be one of them. That's his 18th homer on the year. That'll give you a smile. Starting to find his form again.
Here's Krenzel's 0-2 to Aloy. To the ground on the right side. Shuffle and a kick. Here's Keelan. And a hair late. They get the force out on Davalon.
Nice job there by Dean Curley. Way to bounce back after a tough play earlier in the ball game. Keep your nose down. Love the backhand feed right here. And Keelan maybe just, I don't know, was it maybe just a click? That's about as good as you can do it by the shortstop. You got to give Aloy a bunch of credit for legging that one out. Love the hustle from the Arkansas shortstop.
Runners at first and third for Logan Maxwell. 2 walks and a single for the TCU transfer. LSU has scored 4 unanswered on the road against South Carolina. The #1 Tigers have a 5-2 lead in the 7th. Freshman Derek Curiel 2 for 4. One.
It really is impressive how many fans have a great view of the strike zone from behind home plate. It's always been impressive to me.
You would think they were all sitting right behind home.
That's right. You'd think they could actually see the plate, but they can't.
Opposite field shot for Maxwell. A drive in one. And it's bobbled in left field by Bargo. The throw comes in late over third. That results in an extra 90 feet for Wahiba Aloy. Maxwell is 2 for 2 with an RBI now.
What a series Logan Maxwell is having. Has not been retired in the ball game, and this is a rocket over the head of Manny Marin. Been up to bat 4 times, has reached base all 4 times, and is now 7 for 11 in the series.
Kuya Aloy is 0 for 2, and that one just missed. I think we lose one more button, or you think one's enough?
I'm not going to tell this dude what to do at all. That is a bad man right there now. You do you, kid.
He's 7, is his 7th error of the season on Bargo. That allowed Aloy to get to third. Big brother. Two for 10 this weekend. Texas is trying to take the series from Oklahoma. It's a 4-1 lead for the Longhorns. They scored 3 in the 7th. Oklahoma got a solid start from Malachi Witherspoon, but the Sooners have only 2 hits today. Luke Harrison on the mound for Texas.
That's the biggest area where Cahillo needs to improve from sophomore to junior year. Like there are swings like that where I understand cheating to the fastball, but you know, when you watch the difference between, say, an Andrew Fisher and a Cahillo Aloy, you see the difference in just letting that ball travel an extra couple feet before you make your decision. Sometimes it looks like Cahillo is in a rush to get the barrel out in front, when the beauty of being this strong with this much bat speed is you can hit the ball out to the backside of the field just as easily as most guys can pull one out. You don't have to be in a hurry.
It's natural evolution for a young hitter?
I think so. There's nothing wrong with taking chances and swinging and missing, especially when you can do damage. But like that one right there, you just wonder like how much he actually saw that ball out of the hand.
And now the 1-2. And he goes down swinging. Well, Krenzel gets bitten by the leadoff walk, comes around to score, but Tennessee strands a couple here. Arkansas strands a couple in the 5th. But Tusk is having a good day, and why not? Grapes, apples, really whatever you put in front of the snout. Kind of like Chris Burke.
Fair.
Now, you'd take care of that, wouldn't you?
That looks pretty tasty. Oh, yeah, I'm in. I am in. What we got there? Now that's my speed right there. Crawfish broil, I'm in.
Manny Marin ahead in the count, 1-0. He is 1 for 2 in this one and pulls that one foul. I got another idea for you tonight.
Okay, go for it.
We got the night off, right? We're not going anywhere. How about Nate Bargatze's performing in town? Are you not a fan of Nate Bargatze?
I love when you put me on the spot like this. I'm not familiar with Nate.
First of all, he's an SEC guy. He's a Vanderbilt fan.
Okay.
Number 1.
Okay.
I mean, that's not number 1, but number 1 for your wheelhouse.
Okay,
right?
thank you.
Very family friendly.
Okay.
He's the most popular comedian in the country right now.
Okay. I mean, I know the name.
There's a show called Saturday Night Live. He's hosted that a couple of times.
He's not the dude that does George Washington.
He is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I've seen his
okay. We
clips.
got you. We got
yeah.
you in the loop now.
Okay, yeah. Seen a few of those clips.
Here's pitch to Manny Marin, and it's ball 4. If you're funny enough to sell out entire arenas on multiple nights,
yeah,
you're doing all right.
Pretty good. You know, we should have, speaking of selling out multiple or big arenas on multiple nights, we should ask Tony about Morgan Wallen's new album dropping, what his favorite new track was.
You think that's what he's listening to on his AirPods before the game?
Yes. I mean, maybe not exclusively, but yeah, that would be probably in the mix.
Yes. Big music guy, Tony Vitello.
Yeah, he's got a few friends in that arena.
Isn't it interesting how those arenas dovetail, right? Athletics.
Yeah. Well,
entertainment.
Especially when you're in Tennessee.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like his vibe was maybe to want to talk about Morgan Wallen at that point in time, but I'm sure he's already got his list of favorites from the new drop.
Now, Morgan Wallen did the walkout at Neyland Stadium with Peyton Manning in full uniform and Josh Heupel.
Yep.
I don't remember seeing Tony in the show.
Oh no, there was the next day.
Oh, okay. So
he went. It was Christian Moore and Tony.
All right. I feel like the Peyton clip gets a little bit more run than that one. That hasn't come across my eyes.
That one's out there. I think a few of the baseballs were part of that. Blake Burke, maybe Dreiling.
Keelan sends it to center field. Justin Thomas Jr. has it for 1 out.
I think they walked out with the trophy.
It's tough to get much cooler than that.
Yeah, there was kind of like a football walkout one day and then a baseball walkout one day, if I remember correctly.
During that 2-day concert series, Morgan Wallen broke the record for the largest weekend attendance at Neyland Stadium, 156,000 tickets sold. And this one's line foul. That broke the record that had been set in 1984. Guess who set the record in 1984?
Prince?
Jackson 5.
Oh, the Jackson 5. That would make sense. I was going to go Beatles, but that's a little past their heyday, right?
What position did Morgan Wallen play for Gibbs High School? He was a baseball player.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, I think he pitched. But, you know, he's a high school dude. He probably played a position, too. And now.
Oh, this ball is launched to right field. Thomas will give it a look just for fun, and that is off the pillar. And Andrew Fisher continues to add to his league-leading total. 22nd home run of the season for the slugger.
Has he had a decent day?
His dad is a high school wrestling coach, and he said it took me a little while to get my baseball stuff going because I had to gain so much weight to wrestle. Then I had to lose that weight. My feet felt heavy at times, even though I felt power in it. And it was an amazing breakdown because that's not, in my mind, that's not a normal sport crossover, wrestling and baseball. But the hips don't lie.
Wow. Yeah, there's some explosive hips going through the zone there, and that is a dead no-doubter. Ball that hits off the brick of the scoreboard there to just to the right of the pitch clock, and that'll be it for Beitelshees. But Tennessee trying to hang around here in this one.
And so Arkansas going to the bullpen for just the second time in this. We'll tell you about the reliever after this. Well, the technical director in TV parlance is the person who pushes all the buttons. I'm simplifying, and Ribby wanted to get in on the fun, so if there's a fat finger mispunch, we know who to blame.
Ribby, huh?
Yeah.
Rib. All right. Ribby's
that's a longer snout than I thought.
Okay. That maybe new.
I mean, that can't be easy to walk around. You get bump into some folks with that.
I think he's had a few photo ops in his day.
Here's Will McEntire.
One of the most experienced pitchers on this pitching staff, has filled a number of different roles for Arkansas over the last 3 or 4 years, and oftentimes it's been of the long relief variety.
Ground ball to third. And 2 down. We'll be in Hoover this week, and the party begins 10:30 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday on the SEC Network. Single elimination all the way through.
Should be interesting. What do you think?
Yeah, I think
I'm excited about the new format.
Here's Dalton Bargo. And a wave and a miss. I'm not sure what to expect of the format. I'm curious how it plays out. I would expect, however, that we'll get crisper games over the weekend, assuming that the top seeds are those that are playing. And not that upsets don't occur, but if you already had a double bye and you've won Thursday or Friday, your pitching is likely going to be in good shape on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, and it's the first time ever, Tom, that we've done it where if you're one of those double bye teams, you just throw your weekend rotation.
Yeah.
You always were going to have to get in another starter, sometimes 2 more, depending if you won your first game or not. This year we'll have less of that. Now, it all depends on how these teams choose to handle their pitching. Will McEntire's dad grabbed me on the way in, said hello to me. That was nice.
Oh, nice.
Good to see his son getting a chance to pitch out here in this ball game. We had a small chat about a walk-on turning into one of the most used Arkansas pitchers of the Dave Van Horn era. He's a neat story.
And he is fired up about that strikeout. Andrew Fisher goes yard again to keep Tennessee in this thing, but it's a 4-run game in the 6th. Local celebrities abound at Baum Walker Stadium, and you can't party through the entire weekend if you don't start on Thursday. And this gentleman has been keyed up this entire time. Rocking the air guitar, the koozies doing its job, but probably not even needed. Is that the same shirt all 3 days?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a Thursday, Friday, Saturday wardrobe.
Change the uni up.
For sure.
Not to cheer about when Ryder Helfrick hit a grand slam in the 3rd, and he fouled that one off of his foot. That can't be fun.
No, he gets dinged up enough being behind the plate. Last thing he needs is. How about Ryder Helfrick? Is this the only hitter in the league with no armor?
You might be right.
It took me all weekend to realize this, but as I'm looking at his foot, it hit me. He's got no shin guard. There's no elbow guard. There's definitely, if you're not shin guard or elbow guard, you definitely don't have an oven mitt, right? This dude's straight throwback.
I'm kind of surprised he's even wearing batting gloves.
Yes.
Nothing in 2.
I called games at a park ACC team this year that said they make their dudes wear it off the machine in the cage. They just pure.
Wait, like Happy Gilmore style?
Just pure injury prevention. It's like
wait.
Yes.
We're going to go in the cage. You're going to take a shin burger on purpose, or you just wear the equipment?
No. Like you have to wear your shin guard while you hit off the machine.
Just like an offensive lineman has to wear a knee brace.
Right. Again, we're not.
I thought you were saying that they have to.
No, wear it off.
Wear it in baseball parlance.
No. They have to actually wear the shin guard while they're in the cage.
Well, then, why wouldn't you make them wear it in game?
No, I think they all do. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying that's how different. Like that's how different the era was, right? Like in today's world, it's no longer seen as like, oh, I guess. Like it's like some teams will make you wear it because it's just we've gotten to the point now where And I get it. Like once you see somebody, foul ball off their foot and break their foot, or
let's watch a Jermaine Dye clip. Oh.
Then as a coaching staff, you just say, hey, let's just make them all wear it. But anyway, Ryder Helfrick, very unique in the fact he has no armor. As Braden Krenzel.
That would be newsworthy.
Puts away the first Arkansas hitter here, the 6th.
It's his 5th K.
And we got another hitter with no armor. How have I missed this all weekend, Tom?
Been thinking about those 9 birdies. The Krenzel-Kojal matchup here. Cam Kojal's dad is a groundskeeper in Omaha, both for the AAA team and for the Men's College World Series. Look at little Cam helping out by holding the hose. How cool is that?
Love it. We've seen Kojal attempt to bunt a few times this weekend. I was watching him practice it today during batting practice. He hasn't got one down yet, but he is. I'll give him an A for consistently attempting to do it.
Here you go. Krenzel gathers. Got a fire. 2 down.
Boy, that wasn't the pitch, right? If you're going to bunt for a hit, you're going to try to drag it down the third baseline. You got to get something away from you. And if it jams you, watch, this ball's at him. See, that ball's at him, so he doesn't quite get the angle that he needs, that you would get if something was away, where you could really get that ball up the third baseline. Nice job there by Krenzel of finishing that play.
Krenzel comes inside with 94, 0-1. And we're getting rid of our tan lines today, apparently.
Okay. Is he trying to tan his palms?
Yeah. You got to even it out.
My man on the right might need some sunscreen.
Well, where?
Huh?
He doesn't need it in the middle, but he could certainly use it on the neck.
Oh, you could use that to. Yeah, he's
Bush Light does not make for a good aloe. We're here to serve.
It's a great tip, Tommy. My second question is, how do you know?
Power of deduction.
Okay. There's some serious sunburning going on out there.
Dermatologists are cringing. 2-2.
Not sun tanning, sun burning.
My man's got no issues.
No, he's good.
Brent Iredale is 0 for 2. And a full count now as Krenzel misses with 96.
Brent Iredale just quality at bat after quality at bat. In today's world, the walk is as big an offensive weapon as any on the best offenses in the country. And man, has he done a nice job of earning some free passes this weekend.
That was really good. No sleeves needed this weekend. Arkansas with a 4-run lead in the 6th with 2 outs. Tony Vitello is going to make another pitching change, and they'll be calling the Hogs here at Baum Walker. You have to be in sync to call the Hogs. It's probably the only college here where you really have the pauses and the execution throughout the different stanzas. I mean, VOLS just kind of goes.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like nailing the woo in Rocky Top, right? Like you got to hit it at just the right time.
I hadn't thought about that. I always thought that there was a cue, a pause, and then the woo. We'll break it down after this.
One to Omaha, Nebraska, home of the College World Series.
'Cause here I come, I wear it all on my sleeve, so everything you see shows you where I'm from.
Who's your favorite for Omaha?
Golly. To win it?
Take it any direction you want.
I would say, I'll give you predictions. I think there'll be at least 4 teams from this league in it. And I'd be very surprised if it's not a team from this league as the last one standing. As we've said, I'm less certain of exactly who that would be. Not because I don't think there's a ton of good teams, because I think there's so many. And we've seen such a variety in results from series to series this year that I think it's as hard to predict as ever.
Reese Robinette will face Brandon Arvidsson here in the 6th inning. Arvidsson from Dripping Springs, Texas.
Big left-hander, fastball up to 95 miles an hour, a slider that is far and away his best put-out pitch. And he'll show you a change-up as well. So, former Aggie at one point early in his career.
And Robinette fouls the first one off. Dripping Springs is not far from Bryan College Station. Gateway to the Hill Country. Home of Kyle Chandler. Friday Night Lights. Clear eyes, full heart, can't lose.
Okay.
I feel like that should be a binge watch for you. Like, if you didn't watch it when it came out, your love of middle school, high school, and college football, Friday Night Lights is right up your alley.
All right.
And I'm guessing, by the way, you're reacting to this, that no, you are not familiar and have not watched it.
No, I haven't.
Clear eyes, full heart, can't lose. Is that
I definitely have heard the
phrase?
term. Yes, for sure.
Just outside of Austin. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Runner on the move, and perfect to throw on, and got him. Peebles out of his crouch, and he delivers a strike to second. Would have jumped out of the couch, too.
Yeah, either one works. Looks like we're going to get a review here. What a perfect throw by Peebles on a textbook pitch to throw on, a fastball up. Peebles did all the early work. I think this is another one of the situations where the throw beat him. Yeah, live, I thought he was out. Let's see if the tag, we saw Aloy was able to get to the backside of the base. Iredale maybe not quite as much. I mean, definitely his hand gets to the backside of the base. Aloy did a great job of almost swerving his entire body, and I feel like this one's going to stand, Tommy. Watch Peebles get up out of that crouch. Perfect pitch to throw on. Throws an absolute dot to the front of the base. It's not there yet. Yeah, there it was. Yeah, that one's got to stand.
Jeremy Dupree.
After review, the runner is out. Arkansas Charger is first down.
No relation to Jermaine. 8-4, Arkansas with the lead. We're through with 6. Sparky, did your runs take you up to Old Main?
No, I'm not in that part of town, unfortunately.
Oh, that means you're not running far enough. It's an 8-4 lead for Arkansas, top of the 7th. This game is just flying by. Coons allowed 4 earned in just 2 innings. Fisher's homered. He's gone 3 for 3. Gage Wood stuck around for 3 innings. Ryder Helfrick grand slam, part of his 5 ribbies today. Dean Curley leads off the 7th. So you ran to the Home Depot?
I ran a loop around our hotel about 10 times.
10 times? You really didn't want to leave the neighborhood, did you?
Ish. I mean, I did the first day, and it was not very scenic. I felt like I was breathing in car fumes most of the time, so I decided to try to stay off the main road. I've had prettier runs, let's put it that way.
Well, you're just in the wrong part of town, obviously. Ball and a strike to Dean Curley. I had a buddy in college who was a psychotic runner. Ground ball to the right side. Here's Kojal. Meet up with him on his way out the door to run. I'd say, Timmy, how far are you running today? He said, I haven't decided yet, so I'm just going to run that direction until I get tired, and then I'll turn around and run back. He was a college wrestler, so that should kind of put it in perspective. Later, a presidential Secret Service agent for Bush and Obama.
Sounds like a good friend to have.
No doubt.
And back in the day, like way back when you were in college.
Yeah, way back then.
There was no real way to track it, right? He just wasn't like he was running with a watch that told him how far he was running.
Didn't even drop breadcrumbs or anything. Reese Chapman with a swing and a miss. How's that guy feeling?
Well, he's a little sunburned too, Tommy, even though there's not a whole lot of. He might have spent a day at a lake or something yesterday. But
interesting to go with the hoodie under the jersey when it's 85 out.
Yeah. Rocking all his swag in one uni. But he's not feeling well, I like the shorts. We got checkerboard shorts there. Or those pants. Looks like pants.
Those long pants,
yeah. He's got serious outfit going there.
1-2. Is that what you wear? You go to a Tennessee football game? You go straight checkerboard long pants?
No, Tommy. But I appreciate those that do.
Yeah, we got a lot of checkerboards in the building. Here's the 1-2. Aimed at by Chapman. Well, McEntire's retired all 4 batters he's faced in relief.
Doing a really nice job. We see a bigger breaking ball and then a tighter breaking ball, and then the cutter to Curley. So that the cutter is the short one. This is the one that's got the depth to it. You see this one just outraced the barrel of Reese Chapman down to the bottom part of the zone, and McEntire making light work of this Tennessee lineup so far.
Mike Clark looks at a first pitch strike. Now 0-2. Oh, 2 for McEntire is lifted in the air to right field. Maxwell tracks it down. 1-2-3 frame work by McEntire. Needed just 9 pitches for 3 outs. Time to stretch in Fayetteville. Razorbacks have been breathing fire and blowing smoke. They're up by 4. Well, let's take a look at the top draft prospects out of the SEC, updated by Kylie McDaniel. What do you think?
Well, these are his prospects. I think his mock draft will look very different as far as the order that those guys will go in. But, yeah, I think there's a bunch of Tennessee and Arkansas players that are going to go really high in this draft. And it's why I think even though both of these teams have had a few weekends that make you scratch your head, I think still you look at the odds. Both of these teams are very highly favored to get to Omaha because of the level of talent.
Reese Robinette was at the plate when Brent Iredale was caught stealing to end the 6th. 1 ball and 1 strike to Robinette.
I feel like, Tom, it's a little bit like things were at the end of the basketball season when some of the best SEC teams were beating up on each other a little bit.
Yeah.
And the conversation always goes to, okay, are these teams so good because they only play each other and we don't get a ton of the data points, even though they do play a healthy non-conference, prior to New Year's, or are these really the best teams in the country? And I think the NCAA basketball tournament showed us those were the best teams in the country.
Yeah, the other part of it, and once again, it's not apples to apples, sport to sport, but the success that the SEC had head-to-head in the ACC Challenge laid the groundwork for this is an elite league, and by the way, that other one is going to struggle this year. Baseball's always different, right? Because obviously non-conference schedules are not made equally, but also even when you face great teams early in the season, like you go to Arlington, for example, it's early in the year. Your pitchers haven't been built up. There's not that they shouldn't be valued, but to me, baseball is much more of a long runway sport than any other.
Yeah, there's so many games, so many different data points.
Thomas got underneath this one. Coming in is Bargo. Keelan back, and Keelan takes it himself.
And I think the other piece with baseball, too, is, you might have played some really good non-conference games, but who was pitching in those games? Were they weekend games? Were they midweek games? There's a lot of nuance to, in a basketball game, it's your best versus my best every time we play.
That's right.
Nobody wonders who was on the mound or what version of a team you got that day. Arkansas is going to put the brakes on here a little bit after a couple quick outs. So, I think that's a little bit of the difference.
By the way, I heard a great story this week about Bobby Wernis.
Okay.
He's on the coaching staff, third base coach. He was kind of last-minute addition his sophomore year to the Arkansas roster. Do you know how Dave Van Horn found him? He played on a College World Series team.
Please tell me.
He had gone with his girlfriend, now wife, girlfriend at the time, to go pick up her sister from Kanakuk, which is a camp not far from here, up in Missouri in the Ozarks. He was wearing an Arkansas baseball t-shirt. He had played 1 year at Neosho College in southern Missouri. A guy walks by and says, "Hey, nice t-shirt." It happens to be Dave Van Horn, who was there to pick up his daughter, who was a camp counselor at the time. The girlfriend's now wife says to him, "Hey, Bobby, you want to play at Arkansas? Go ask him if he's got a spot." And he's like, "Honey, it doesn't work like that. I can't just go up to Dave Van Horn in the parking lot at Kanakuk." She encourages him. He does. And Van Horn says, "You know what? We just lost an infielder this week. When are you playing next?" And he was playing the next night on the same field that Dave Van Horn grew up playing on in Metro Kansas City. Van Horn watched him take ground balls in the batting cage and then went and watched the game, and the rest was history, and now he's on his staff.
That is one of the best recruiting stories I've ever heard. Well done, Tommy.
And we got it in with 2 outs in the 7th. Bobble Cart at Baum Walker. 8-4 Arkansas.
Let's take a look at how we got here. A little game recap. Ryder Helfrick with a grand salami into the left field bullpen. Broke this one wide open after a little back and forth early in the ball game. And then Vahibo Loy went long ball over the right center field wall. Arkansas now has tied the program record for home runs in a season. That will surely go down over the next couple weeks. This is an Arkansas team, and really a Tennessee team, that impresses at so many different places on their roster, and we've gotten to see a lot of that over the last 3 days.
5-run third is a big one, and that occurred after a controversial balk call preceded an error and another couple of walks before a Ryder Helfrick grand slam. Tony Vitello make a change?
I don't know. Well, it looks like we got a new hitter on deck. Blake Grimmer.
Appreciate Tony making that move before the plate appearance actually occurs. It's still not going to help me make the 555. Cannon Peebles is 1 for 3, couple of strikeouts. Nothing in 1. Eleven home runs, 37 driven in. And now nothing in 2.
McEntire just continues to bury that breaking ball on left-handed hitters. What do we got here? We got a helmet malfunction?
Possibly, or maybe a delay tactic, because Helfrick said something to Peebles as he was walking off, and Jeff Head had to run interference.
It looks like he said he's got some, I don't know, he's pointing to his eye, then he said something about his helmet. Definitely has a new helmet, though.
Yeah. Went away with the electronic devices for batters this year. And McEntire gets him looking. You mentioned Will McEntire. What a great story. His first year was 2020. An abbreviated season, obviously. They're going to wave Cannon Peebles back. He was a part-time starter in 22 and 23, and he's pitched primarily out of the bullpen over the last 2 seasons.
Yep.
There's a career low batting average against for McEntire this season.
Well, I think a big part of it, it seems like that breaking ball has really gotten sharper. It used to be so cutter heavy, but now the actual slider has really developed.
He has pounded the strike zone today. His K rate is as high as it's ever been in his career in Fayetteville. Nothing in 2. Ahead in the count to Blake Grimmer, pinch hitting.
That's the one you got to lay off of, that breaking ball that wraps around the zone. Really good trajectory on that breaking ball. Really comes out of his hand looking like a fastball and then just dies at the plate.
Fastball low, 2-2. Snuck 92 by him. Back-to-back Ks for McEntire.
Boy, is he fired up. Paint down and on the outside edge. Grimmer doesn't want to go chasing for the breaking ball, and that's a fastball just absolutely beautifully executed at the bottom of the zone.
Hogs will have a powwow on the mound with McEntire. He can sneak a smile.
Let me ask you a question here, Tommy.
Yep.
Okay. So, from a hosting standpoint, Texas, Arkansas, LSU, Vanderbilt, Georgia, and Auburn are all going to host. Okay. Auburn's RPI is so high that even if they lost today at 16 and 14, they would still host. Okay, that's 6 hosts, right? Now, I'd say from an RBI perspective, the SEC is going to get at least 7, if not 8.
Yeah, Alabama would be in the discussion.
Okay, Alabama's losing right now.
Okay.
Okay, now if Alabama loses that series and finishes at 16 and 14.
You got Ole Miss taking that spot?
Okay, and Ole Miss is losing. They finish 16 and 14. Okay, if Tennessee loses this game, they finish 16 and 14.
Not all 16 and 14s are created equal.
They're not, but Tennessee does have the head-to-head with both of them, which is interesting. And RPIs that are almost, you can throw a hat around. Ole Miss would be the 3rd on that, and Bama and Tennessee right now are 11 and 8.
Well, sounds to me, you didn't ask a question. You presented some factors.
Yeah, like
sounds to me like
who would win it? Who would win that one?
Lot to play for in Hoover for those three.
Yep, interesting, isn't it?
Davalon drifts underneath. And it's a 1-2-3 frame work by Will McEntire. He has retired all 8 batters that he has faced, and the senior having quite a day in the final home regular season game. Will McEntire getting it done.
And fired up while he's doing it.
I quit lip reading. Runs on 9 hits and a pair of errors for Tennessee. 8 runs on 7 hits for Arkansas as we move bottom of the 8th. Vahiva, Aloy, Logan Maxwell, and Koyo Aloy due up for the Hogs. It's been a really good weekend for Razorback fans. A lot of different reasons. Their softball team won again today, but one Razorback fan just moments ago won the Razorback lottery. You ever buy the ticket? You're at a big league game. You could maybe win. They won half of that. They won $141,000.
Whoa. That's got obviously built up all year. They do.
I don't have enough details. Not just from this game, no. But
wow.
All I know is that number, and they announced it, and they stood up in their seats, and they became the most popular people in the ballpark.
Time to head to the concession stand.
They could buy limeades for everybody. I've never seen a number like that at a baseball game. Swing and a miss for Aloy. Coming up later on the SEC Network, 6 Eastern, 5 Central. Over there. Final 4 hours of the SEC Outdoor Track and Field Championships from Lexington. All the top runners square off in the finals for individual and team titles. Razorbacks 4-time defending men's champs. And LSU the women's champs. Ignited Track and Field coming up from the Bluegrass. Logan Maxwell sends it to center. Park will hold it. And Ensley takes care of it. 2 down.
Now batting for the Razorbacks number 25.
Here's Koyo Aloy, who is 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Nothing in 2.
Man, Arvidsson has really looked sharp since entering this ball game. And in command of all 3 pitches, fastball, slider, and changeup. Tom, I had somebody tweet at me that Kahil Aloy looks just like Andrew Jones up to the bat. And that is a very good call. Number 25.
Mm-hmm. Upright stance.
Really upright. Probably about the same height. And probably similar bat speed. The way Kahil lets it rip.
He's DHing this year. Where's his natural position?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would think a corner spot, infield or outfield.
What other tweets have you gotten this weekend?
I've got some really friendly ones. Yeah.
I think you should share those. You know what? Let's talk about it during the break. 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Arvidsson. It'll be Fisher, Ensley, and Bargo due up. Last chance for Tennessee. Tans here on this Saturday afternoon, early evening in Northwest Arkansas. Knowledge is power. Finale of this 3-game series. Sorry can't baseball bye. That's a great t-shirt.
That is pretty good there. I'm in on that.
I've seen such an increase over the last maybe even 5 years of the families at the ballpark. Like each and every game.
I think baseball is such an interesting sport because it's there for you way more than the other sports. You know, it's you just fall into that rhythm where you really gain a personal connection to the players. Mm-hmm. And so I think those that love it tend to be very faithful in their attendance. They just fall into the rhythm of it.
8 batters faced by Will McEntire. 8 batters retired.
Well, he's got his hands full here, Tommy.
Yep.
If he gets rid of Fisher, he's working at an all-time level because Fisher he's just been on everything. I mean, my goodness, this guy has had a day.
Andrew Fisher was destined for an Ivy League school coming out of high school in Asquith, New Jersey, and then Duke called at the last moment. His mom works at Princeton, and she said, yeah, okay, Duke will work. And it was interesting talking to him. He said, you know, I was lightly recruited. I got the opportunity for Duke and basically committed immediately. But at that time, I don't know that I would have been an SEC caliber player. Now here he is on the doorstep of maybe being player of the year.
Mm-hmm. And the first round draft pick. But
yeah,
admittedly, he's, you know, he said his sophomore year was 5'10", 140 pounds. So the body has made a significant jump. Now he's about 6'1", 210. I mean, that's maybe 200. Like that's a body that has changed significantly. He's also the player in the league that I think uses his timeouts the most. You know, pitcher gets one step off, hitter gets one timeout, McEntire's ticked. I feel like he uses it 2 or 3 times a game.
I don't know, based on how he's throwing, I'd want to upset Will McEntire.
This could be saucy here. Fisher's got some Votto-like qualities with the way he can waste 2-strike pitches.
Dismiss the fastball. You go curveball here.
I mean, fastball way and sliders down and in. It's going to be one or the other. Looks like the slider here. Oh, fastball up.
I feel like a good chunk of those sliders from McEntire are more down than down and in.
Yeah, he just rips it. Sometimes it goes straight down. Sometimes it wraps a little bit.
And this ball is lifted into right field. Maxwell comes around it and puts it away.
Number 9, Hunter.
Diggs in right field, pardon me.
Well, they got rid of him. Just a routine F9 there, Tom.
Yeah. And a breaking ball in for a strike to Hunter Ensley. To short. Aloy. Arkansas is an out away from going to 32-4 playing in front of that guy, because I assume he's been at every home game.
Yes.
They're locked into a double bye, and this would lock them into the 2 seed. Dalton Bargo is 0 for 4 today. What an outing for Will McEntire. The senior has been untouchable.
It has been a stripe show from a strike throwing standpoint.
And with a win here, Arkansas won't play in Hoover until Friday afternoon as the 2 seed. That would be game 3 of the day on Friday. The 1 seed plays game 3 of the day on Thursday. Oh, 2 to Bargo. And the slider misses low. Now Texas locked into the 1 seed. Still more movement to occur until all games go final today, including Florida and Bama. And McEntire, if this one's caught, will be perfect on the afternoon. He is. Davalon squeezes it, and Arkansas takes the series. 8-4 is the final as we get ready for Hoover.
Impressive work by Will McEntire and this Arkansas bullpen. They were good yesterday, a good again today, and Arkansas is going to be playing at home in the postseason, Tommy.
No doubt. A couple of weekends. For Chris Burke and our entire crew here in Fayetteville, I'm Tom Hart. Still more to come your way this weekend. We will see you in Hoover. But for now, it's the SEC Track and Field Championships. Here's Dave O'Brien.